United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Approval of the minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look at them?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes as written.
Aaron makes a motion to approve, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Jim Vanderhorst. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the agenda. And, yeah.
It's a big agenda.
Huh?
It's a big agenda
It's
this
a big one.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as published.
Okay, Jim Gardner makes a motion to approve it as published. Is there a second to it?
Second.
Miller seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Old and unfinished business.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Joe, have you heard anything on that Glencoe deal? Was a response?
Yeah, we're still kind of negotiating that, so,
Are there letters that were submitted?
yeah.
Can we get copies of those letters, Joe?
Yeah, if you want, you can come to my office and I'll.
Okay.
So have they responded, Joe?
Yeah, I have a response from someone, I don't really wanna get into a lawsuit
Oh,
and stuff.
sure. That's fine.
Entirely, unless you wanna get into executive session and discuss it a little bit more.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
They did respond, but,
Anything else, guys?
Um, regarding that building permit that we kinda tabled and talked about a public hearing possibly about with the two connexes out of Beaver Bay. I've gotten some feedback from some people, there is one letter in here that I think we all probably got a copy of, that they're not very in favor of having another public hearing, and I got a text last night on another landowner out there. I think we just need to, think about that a bit, and
proceed cautiously.
I think so, you know, like Aaron said, maybe it wasn't a bad idea to let people speak, but I think the feeling is the same as it was when you guys had the public hearing in 22, that most people don't wanna see them, and yeah. Anyway, I got more than just the letter that was in our packet. I got another
Yeah, I
guy that
got
sent one last night too.
text you.
Yeah.
Not in favor.
No,
Well, it's starting to turn into, Beaver Bay and Cattle Bay are turning into places where people are building, houses, not,
nice home.
yeah, not trailer houses and $50,000 one-room cabins. They're building $400 and $500 and $600 and $7 million houses out there, so, I mean, I don't blame them. The city, we don't allow any of them, period, except in commercial, or commercial property.
None in residential.
Zero, no. No, we actually upset one of our physicians at the clinic about one, and, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's
Farmers.
it's a touchy subject, but it's one that I don't think, is probably going to be favored.
No, I don't think so either.
I
I don't know
got,
if he has another way he can build that building, but I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah.
it's gonna be, in my opinion, yeah, well, I guess we probably should discuss it, just part we'll discuss it later as we move down.
Yeah,
Do you wanna discuss it right now on the unfinished business?
is it on here?
Yeah. No, this wasn't on here.
Well, if not, I mean, if you got a zoning ordinance update at like noon, is that something you could kind of, I mean, that's germane to the topic, I would say. Move it to noon and talk about it during zoning ordinances, if we're gonna do something about it.
Yeah.
It seems like a more proper agenda item.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? If not, we'll move on. New business here, Brad Huber, you wanna do your VA quarterly report?
Sure.
I gave you guys his in your packet, this report.
Give us a minute to find it, Brad.
Last place we looked.
Actually, it looks like it might have been right at the top of the stuff that was on there.
You got it? I can't find it here.
Wasn't last place I looked.
Huh?
Looks like this. Yeah, it should've been on the top of the stuff that was sitting on the table already when we got it.
Looking for it.
Reshuffle everything around.
Yeah, I did, that's what I did, I kinda threw some stuff together.
That's true, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see it? John and I see it. Must be here. Here it is, I got it. Here it is. Oh. Go ahead, Brian.
Alrighty, real simple, it's been a pretty quiet, I'd say slow quarter. Not a lot of activity, but definitely keeping busy. The required training is completed, future events. The training, biannual training, here in a couple weeks in Bismarck. Although it seems, it's been a really slow and quiet quarter, but in the 2 years I've been here, for reasons I can't figure out, this last quarter up till about March of next year, things pick up a lot, so, I guess I'm geared up for that. It's always quiet before the storm, so to speak, but, that's, I've noticed that. Just for future reference, the final end of the year's the report. I'll still generate this one, but I thought I'd switch it up and give you a little more, break it down by quarter. Previous year's numbers compared to this year's numbers. That's something you guys would like to see. I'm actually working on it already, so. With that, about the only other major significant thing is with the government shutdown.
Yeah.
A lot of things are kinda in limbo for me. It's not stopping. We can still move forward, so. That's about it. That's just I'm coming, but I've already got something I'm gonna discuss. Any veteran that comes in now, that whole figured out. I can still work with them, but.
So with that process, if there are any like federal benefits or anything, you still probably apply for them and like put them into a motion and then like once the government
I'm going
starts
to, right now, all the next level representatives are working remotely at home.
Sure.
Their building is shut down, they're locked out, they can't even, go into the office, but they're working remotely.
Are they kind of on like furlough with that, I mean, so they're expected to
Well, those
work?
individuals aren't paid by like the Legion member, they're paid by the American Legion, VFW, they're paid
Okay.
by, so they're not, it's
So
just, but the
that's-
problem is, the building they work in
Sure.
is one of the buildings at the VA, and that's one of the ones that they shut down. Matter of fact, I think last Thursday I got an email saying that they were gonna lock the building, they were still gonna be able to work, and then yesterday morning, I got an email saying the building's completely shut down, but they all have laptops, they're working remotely, so if a veteran comes in my office, we can still accommodate them. The process to get it up to the next level is gonna be just a smidge slower. So, we can still move forward, it's just not as fast as anyone would like. So, that's kinda where I'm at right now, and until this gets resolved, that's my intent, is to let the veterans know that. It's not a showstopper, it's just a show slower. With that, I guess questions for me, concerns?
Keep up the good fight.
Yep. Thanks for what you do.
Gentlemen?
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks,
Brad.
Brian. Appreciate it. The next one on the agenda, well, she's not here, we wanna wait a few minutes for Alicia Stucco and Nancy Dice? Huh?
Acacia.
Acacia, excuse me, okay. Acacia
We
Stucco.
can move on to this Praise County property thing real quick, maybe while we're waiting. I think that's what this is what, right?
Yeah, there's only 3 of them, I think.
Yeah.
you guys would be doing today, for some of you that are new commissioners, is, these 3 properties are delinquent due to taxes, not being paid the last 3 years. So we have a sale the 3rd Tuesday in November at 2:00 PM, and I need to know what to start the bid out on each of these properties. So that's what you guys are gonna be appraising this property today, to let me know what you want me to start the bids on that.
Well, I would think it started with where the taxes due are, right?
Well,
You have to have
and
it appraised,
Christina did give a recommended sale price.
Yeah, I think we stick with the recommended. On the 2 Hazelton ones, I definitely think that at a minimum, half of their true and full value is a good place to start.
Yeah.
This one in Linton, I got a lot of heartburn with, because I originally, this thing is a pain in our sides, because Joe can't contact anybody, and I would've liked to have ripped it down, and we don't want it to fall into the wrong hands. We also don't wanna soak somebody that wants to buy it and rip it down too, so I don't know where to start with that one.
Is it not livable?
No, it hasn't been, I haven't been in it, but it's maybe livable inside. I don't know what the inside looks like, the outside looks like it's,
Where's this at, east of Maine?
yeah, this is east of Maine, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, what do you normally do there? Do you have
Well, I mean, the recommended price is usually a decent spot to start, cause Christina probably has some information on them, at least on the
Oh.
value of them, so.
start with?
I'd say that the bare minimum, you gotta go with at least the taxes due, but
Yeah,
then,
that's what I was, yeah.
but you also gotta remember that when you make a house really, really cheap, sometimes, you know, it ends up getting purchased by some, like, I
Yeah.
don't wanna make this sound bad,
No,
but
say it.
what's happened in the past is people thought they were getting a deal on it, and then so they buy it, then they realize it wasn't worth it, then they quit paying the taxes, and you, like, you have a
Then it
cycle
comes
that gets
back again.
perpetuated, because after the auction, then someone can make an offer. So if you have it go through the auction process, and it doesn't, you know, you have something for $7,000 that nobody wants to buy, somebody can come in later and offer $3,500, and once you have to by law go through the auction process.
Oh, okay.
Once you have the auction process done, then you, right, I mean, that's Cliff Notes version.
I'd like to see-
What is, does the current owner have the last right of redemption?
No, there is no current owner really.
Current owner,
Isn't
yeah.
there?
So in this situation, the current owner deeded the property, reserved a life estate, okay? The person they deeded the property to, or the couple, they're both deceased.
Okay.
Then the current owner passed away. Their kid sort of inquired about it, but they didn't have the remainderment interest in it, they already deeded that away. I tried to get a hold of 2 folks who passed away, their kids, and 2 kids, one of them lives in Canada, another one lives out of state, so it was sort of a dead end there. They didn't seem to have any interest, them up, so.
I'd like to make a recommendation to start it at like $25,000, to be honest with you.
Which one, the one in
The
the,
back one.
The
They
back
did
one?
talk about it at the meeting last night, it seemed like the city wanted to purchase it for $1 after the auction, if the county offered it to them, and they were gonna plan on tearing it down, was the general consensus. They didn't make any motions, but.
It's not livable, but there are people in town that will buy them cheap enough and try to make them livable, and they wind up being, a storage facility.
Okay, so you wanna set it,
I'd like to set it high, honestly. Yeah, I have not been in this house, I don't know what it looks like, and I don't know if anybody possibly has been in this house, but I would say it's probably not livable, because I don't think anybody's been in it for, Joe, how long's it been since, the Marshes have not been in there, so how long has it been since the guy that originally deeded it to them
You know,
passed away?
I'm trying to think, I think the first time I was contacted about it is probably 4 years ago, maybe, 3-4 years ago.
And I would say it hasn't.
And they might not have been living in it for a few
Five
years
or-
before then.
It was probably 5-6 years.
It's been a while, it's been a minute.
So it's so mouse infested.
probably a little furry fellows.
It's in pretty rough shape on the outside, I can tell you what. There's no, as you can tell, there's no front door, it's chip boarded over and,
Well, I can tell you the last house that the county tore down, I wanna say between dump fees, labor and everything, it's running you in somewhere in the neighborhood of probably $5,000 to $8,000.
Yeah,
So you at least have to put that kind of a value on them, cause if the county ends up with them and we tear them down, depending on the situation, size of the house, if there's asbestos, all these other things.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff's gotta get hauled to Bismarck, you can put 10,000 into tearing a house down.
And this is actually,
Well, that's a-
this one might come in a little cheaper cause it's pretty small, but
Yeah.
it probably is full of asbestos as well, so.
Well, but I can just tell you, you won't tear a house down for probably less than
Yeah.
5,000 or 6,000 bucks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty tough, so you gotta at least be in that neighborhood in the event that if, you know, you hopefully try to recoup that kind of a cost, cause otherwise, you know.
15,000?
But then again, the other side of it is maybe you wanna make it cheap so someone does take it so the county doesn't have to tear it down. It's a double-edged sword, cause if you put something too high and nobody wants it, then you're stuck with it too, so. I mean, the only other thing is, obviously, the ones that are in town, you are gonna have the city look at probably tearing down some of these houses, so. It just,
Oh, there, yeah.
yeah, some of these houses are getting pretty tough shape and they,
That's a little house.
I
No
will tell you
basement.
one thing for tearing it down though, as an equipment guy, there's 2 overhead power lines
Yep,
there.
yeah.
It's not gonna be fun to tear down.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. And it's basically, this is the lot, right here, that's the lot.
So it's a big enough lot for someone to
garage.
build a house or
Well,
garage?
It's not for a new home.
Too small.
No, it's too small, yeah, just a garage is all somebody could, I know there are some interested, people, neighbors that are interested in that lot as well.
Just so it's empty and cleaned up.
I think they possibly tear it down. I'm not gonna lie, the biggest thing for us as a city is to try to make sure that a couple people won't bid on it or won't.
I guess I have an opposite opinion on the general, my consensus is you should almost just offer it for the taxes available and let the neighbors buy it and take care of it though. That's, I mean, if you put it up to 50,000, so that nobody buys it and the city gets it for $1 and tears it down, then the same neighbor's gonna be going for it anyway, I mean, it's. I don't like the precedent of the government always having to tear these houses down so people can buy the lots and make them.
I don't disagree with you,
I
but
mean, that's the only thing that does drive me a little bonkers, because you hear the complaints of things like taxes and budgets, but nobody's got a problem making sure the counties and the cities spend 5,000 to 10,000 to tear a house down, so they can buy a lot for 3,000 bucks. Like, I feel like the neighbors should come together if they wanna clean up that part of the neighborhood, they should buy that place and tear it down and clean it up.
yeah, and the problem with Linton is there's special assessments that are hitting now, and like, one of the neighbors has already done that with the lot beside her, and this would be the next one beside her, and she's like, I don't disagree, but I do think then, if we do that, we should at least price it at the taxes due and what it would probably run to tear it down. Because I don't believe it's livable, and I think I think we should at least plan the fact that it's probably would need to be tore down, so that somebody doesn't buy it to try to live in it. I mean, if they pay that much money, they're either gonna fix it up or they're gonna tear it down.
Any more discussion on it? What do we do?
Well, I would say the recommended sale price has gotta be in the ballpark of the
Yeah,
taxes
that's what I was
and
just
the
gonna say.
tear down, maybe,
Yes,
maybe a little low, but it's in the ballpark. I feel like the cleanest way to do it is just I would make the motion to, set the value at all 3 properties at the recommended sale price.
I would second that.
As far as the sake of discussion, the 2 houses in Hazelton, I'm not very familiar with one, but the other one is across the street from my shop with the privacy fence and stuff, and it hasn't been lived in for a few years, but I know it had work done to it by, community action and some other stuff, so it's probably got at least a decent roof, it's probably got some insulation. I know the outside was tidied up, I mean, the inside probably needs some work, but that house, like for 16,000 is probably,
All right.
I'd say it's gonna hopefully attract a reasonable buyer, I think, at that price.
Yes.
As
Yeah,
far as the 10,000 for the other one, I can't speak to that one, cause I haven't been around that house at all, but.
Kinda deceiving, it looked like containers right away. I thought it was
Yeah.
storage.
That's what I thought too, I'm
No.
like, look at all these storage containers.
No, that was a
Maybe I'll
privacy
put a
fence
bid
that got
on
built in
it.
the last like 5 to 10 years, like,
Open up a
I mean,
little
it's
storage
fairly
container
new
business
fence, and I
in
think it's a
Hazelton.
maintenance free fence, it's not like cedar or nothing, I think, so it's, I mean, that's a reasonable property, the reason that property is up is because the person that was living there is incarcerated, so, and I don't know if they had any family, so.
Okay.
That's not like a house that got abandoned, I think there was nobody there to clean it up, so it just.
Temporarily abandoned.
Well, it's temporarily abandoned by law, but I mean, different deal, so that house could probably bring a reasonable suit, I think, so.
So you wanna go, you made a motion,
I made a
second by
motion
Jim,
to do the recommended sale price.
all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Okay, Alicia, Acacia, excuse me, is that how you pronounce it?
You got it.
Okay. First time to advance your dice.
I've been working on it before you got here.
Martin corrected me twice.
There will be a test.
A tail staff board.
Hello, commissioners.
Morning.
How you get on?
All 4 months have come and gone and we're back, so,
Yeah.
just here to give our quarterly update again. So we're going back to July, achievement days, we had 64 kids exhibit 352 static exhibits, 22 head of livestock were exhibited, and 5 small animals. Next page, Tri-County Plot Tour, I had about 30 people come to that. They looked at all the trials there, which included wheat, barley, durum, flax, soybeans, and some herbicide trials that we had. I gave a presentation on soybean cyst nematode, which is one of the leading causes of hidden yield loss in soybeans. I just finished conducting the sunflower survey for the National Sunflower Association. Emmons County is the leading sunflower producing county in North Dakota and also in the US. So it's very important for our county to be a part of this. All the information that we gather in the field, such as disease pressure, weed pressure, we take plant populations, look at bird damage and seed set, all kinds of different stuff. And all that information is then given to the National Sunflower Association for the research that they do.
Excuse me, is there a lot of disease in the sunflower
Yeah,
this year?
it's
correct?
bad.
Okay. Just gotta clarify that, because I heard them talk in the street that it's bad.
Yeah, with all the wet weather we've been having,
Yep. Okay.
disease is kinda bad in everything this year.
And in the beans
so,
also, is it not?
Yes,
Solid seeded beans?
yeah,
Yep,
a lot of white mold.
yep, yep.
So, extension calls, I've been getting a lot of calls on specifically Pseudocercospora, which is affecting a lot of the trees around our area and the whole state actually. It's a fungus that defoliates the trees, and the trees go into a dormant stage thinking it's winter because they lost all their leaves. And with this nice weather we've been having now, the trees are refoliating, and actually lilacs are starting to bloom, have bloomed.
Yeah, I noticed that. Ours, they looked like they were all dead.
Yeah, so I've gotten a lot of texts, calls, and Facebook messages thinking the world's ending because lilacs are blooming. So,
There is an asteroid or a spaceship heading to the
It's
Earth
coming.
right now, that's coming at the end of November, so maybe.
Yeah, the government shut down.
I wanna know about the tomatoes, I'm gonna come talk to you about that, cause I had a problem with my tomatoes, I always have a problem.
tomatoes,
Yeah.
the blossom end rot like this.
Yeah. I have actually black spots all over mine, and it's driving me nuts,
Okay,
every year.
so the blossom end rot on these tomatoes that you see here is caused by insufficient water, like too much water, not enough water. And then also it can be caused by too much nitrogen, and the plant can't take up calcium, which is what creates the cell wall of a tomato. So it's lacking calcium then if you get this blossom end rot. So
I just need to bring you guys some dirt again.
the little black spots on the tomatoes, I'm not sure what that is, I've seen that too, but I'd have to look into that for you. That's about it, I'm gonna hand it over to Acacia.
Yeah, well, it is crazy how fast, the last quarter has gone with achievement days being mixed into that and all the fun stuff. We did, our Progressive Egg Safety Day, and for those of you that are familiar, we do it every other year. and it's for 5th and 6th graders in Emmons County. So we have it here at the auditorium. We utilize the outdoor space and the auditorium in the basement. And we have kids from the 5th and 6th grade classes in Hazelton and Strasburg and Linton all attend. So it's a fun day. We had 7 different sessions, different safety topics, and I think I have them listed on there, from seatbelt safety to tractor safety, grain safety, first aid, home alone, fire, electrical, and then one of the most powerful things we do is a power take-up demonstration. We stuff a Tyvek suit full of newspaper, and Matt Lyer at Sailor Implement always attaches it to the PTO, turns it on, and it's quite a powerful visual for those kids.
That's good for the kids to see that.
It is, yep, and so, heard lots and lots of really good comments from both teachers, parents, kids. I was working concessions one night, and the parents said, yeah, my daughter was talking all about that, so you know that they go home and they take that information and they share it and they ask questions. And I think for us, that's the most powerful thing, is we want them to take that information home and discuss with their families, so we know that they're talking about some of these things on their farm. And
Do you ever expose them to hydraulics, pressure?
you know, Matt probably talks a little bit about that in
Did he talk to them about that?
tractor safety.
That's something that should be discussed to kids. Cause kids will react if they see a break in a hose. What can I do, you know?
Yeah.
Cause it's spraying all over.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
Matt probably covers that a little bit in his tractor safety. I'm always bebopping around,
Yeah.
so I don't hear everybody's presentation in their entirety. Nancy got to present this year. She did grain safety, so she did it right here in the courtroom. So,
Yeah, a lot of kids were really, they were like, oh, this is where the trials are. It made me think that maybe the school should give tours of the courthouse, because
Yeah.
they probably don't know what offices are in here and what people do in the courthouse here, so.
They used to, right?
yeah, I think they used to. I remember we used to always have little goodie bags, and so it did rain that day. First time we've ever had to move indoors because of the rain. So we did actually have to move a few sessions into the commission room. You came up to the courtroom, and then we always use the stage, and then the Legion room, couldn't think of what it was called. So we utilized the entire courthouse that day. And soil conservation, Emmons County Soil Conservation District has always been really generous, and they sponsor the lunch, so that's fun for the kids. It's a good day, and we get a lot of really good feedback. And we work with a lot of really great community partners, the hospital, Sailor Implement's really good at coming in, South Central Services, Michelle Massett did the home alone safety, the fire department, Ken came in and talked a lot about electrical safety.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, so we know those things happen in our county, and we know that they're important, so we're glad to be able to offer that to those kids. Stepping on, Lisa and I did our 3-month booster session with our last group that we had a workshop for in this spring. We had that in July, and then now Lisa Mock, Annie Barnhart is certified, so the 3 of us are teaching a new workshop. So these are 7 weeks long, and these are research-based to show that they prevent falls. So we work with the hospital. Denise Van Leeuwen from physical therapy comes in for 3 of the sessions. We bring in Dakota I, bring in an optometrist. We bring in Leanne from the pharmacy comes in 1 week. Somebody from the sheriff's department will come in 1 week. So we bring in a lot of community partners too. It's a pretty intensive program. It's weekly, and it's 2 hours a week, but it's really effective and really worthwhile, because we know, I mean, as commissioners, the longer we can keep people in their homes and our communities,
Yeah.
it has a lot of benefits. So that's kind of the goal. And then just like Nancy gets all the gardening questions in the fall, and I get all the food preservation questions. So if you've been wondering, you've never thought, do not can the oven, Dan. But so we get all sorts of questions on you know, or adapting recipes and things like that. So I'm busy answering them. I was asked to go in and talk to the culture and cuisines class at Linton High School, and the look on some of the faces finding out that the way that their family preserves might not be up to guidelines, was a little bit, blank face is a little scared. So we just talked about like, what are some things we could do differently to make those processes safe, but, really fun. They had, we had a good day, so, just turning over to the back is just kind of some of the meetings and programs and activities, because we're always busy doing lots of stuff. These are simply just some highlights, that we worked on, and then we have some upcoming events. So I guess the big thing that we'd all like to invite, or we'd like to invite you all to, is the Fall Awards on November 2nd. That's here at the auditorium so that's for our 4-H kids. And then we recognize their accomplishments from the past year. So if you wanna mark that on your calendar, we'll feed you supper and we'd love to have you come, but I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have questions?
No question, just comments, good job, Bill.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks for your time.
All right, have
Okay, thanks guys. Have a good one. Next item is D is public comment opportunity pursuant to SB 2180.
Did we ever set up a timeline that they're allowed to speak? 5 minutes, 3 minutes, or?
I don't think we did, not to my knowledge.
We're supposed to do that.
No, we don't have to
We
do
don't
that,
have to
there's
do
nothing
that?
that says you have to do that.
Okay.
Cause we've talked about this with the city too, there's nothing in that bill that says you have to do that, just other places that typically have, you know, the Bismarcks and the Burley counties, the bigger counties and cities, they have people that come in and they could spend 4 hours listening to people talk, and somebody could rant for an hour, they decide, I think a lot of them decide.
There they go.
I don't think we have a huge problem with that, I mean, it's our option to do that,
Right,
but we don't have, I don't think it's a requirement,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else in that item? Aaron, anything?
Thoughts on that, Eric?
Then item E, can we go on to that? Oh, is Greg Langen here?
That's me.
That's you?
Very good.
I would say the public comment period is kinda just like a public hearing, I think we can move on, but if someone would come in,
Step
it's
in.
gotta be some time, so, yeah.
It's just something new in the bill.
Okay.
Yeah, someone would-
Morning, Greg.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
A building permit to build a 42 by 42 pole barn
Yes,
on lot 4, block 2, Missouri Hills Estates, section 23, township 132, range 79.
Alright, so he's got a really small lot here, I think it's 0.3 acres. Let's see here.
And this is out where, like
Beaver Bay,
Okay.
yeah, so there's that main Beaver Bay Trail, and he's got a place here on this side, and then owns this lot, lot 4, across the road. So he plans on putting a shop, or garage, both there where the setbacks won't work. So our setbacks are 40 feet from the frontage, 50 feet from the rear, and 15 feet from the side. So we can make the side work. He's got, I got that at about 25 feet, I think that's about right.
Okay.
And then, this is another thing where the road maybe wasn't put exactly where it was platted, but I got a measurement of 34 feet from the road, and then that leaves, I came up with 41.7 to the back.
Okay, it's pretty close, yeah, I had 32 to the road and 46, but I was going down that hill, so.
Okay. You can pull up pictures so you guys can see what it looks like. So the stakes here with the red tops are the corners where he wants to put it.
How tall would that be?
14
To the peak?
to the sidewalk.
To the sidewalk.
Yeah, yeah. And I've talked to the adjacent property owner, the guy in the trailer there, and the guy to the south. I have letters here that they have no issue with any of it.
That was my question.
Yeah. And pretty much everybody around Greg Kellish, Kurt Reef, they're like, yeah,
Right.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Really, the guy with the deck really has no issue with it building right in front of his?
No, we go back, actually, the guy to the south, him and I went to high school together, and my uncle and him are business partners. they're good buddies, my wife plays volleyball, he said, I get it and he'll still have a view off his deck, as near as we can tell, I mean, he's not gonna be looking at the back of a roof, that's up a long ways, so.
Okay. So we've got an issue that it's not access enough from the road, right?
And
Road
from
and
the
the rear.
adjacent property owner.
Yes, correct.
Front and back, yes.
This is an older picture though, cause
Yeah.
that's the slope here.
Yeah, and we are planning on, that was part of the, when we talked, I've been down there landscaping, we're gonna put that hill back the way, yeah, cause I'm not spending $100,000 on a retaining wall for, so that, it's kinda all, we're gonna work together to get it looking a little better than that. Or a lot better.
You're talking you and the landowner?
Landowner to the east, the guy in the trailer there,
Right.
Dave Weedmeyer, yeah.
Bring that first picture up again.
Well, I guess my thought is how come you don't just do like a 50 by 30 or something like that and try and fit it in, I mean, you're that close.
We got a 38-foot trailer that I wanna put in there, that's for the 42 depth, I guess. We'd like to stay that way, cause if we go to the north, we run into Kelch's. This way we have that old, like a catfish alley or whatever it is, so like if we need to pull in, we can pull in onto my gravel, back in. Shortening it, I guess, kinda, I can't get the storage in there that I was looking for. That's kind of the reason for the location of it also, I guess. I know it does get a little wider, but future, I might possibly wanna build a cabin there and.
And why can't we just move it?
Cause the thoughts were, cause if we zoom out a little, like you can see there's electrical there, Kelch's trees, I don't have the back-in area, to back a trailer into the building. And a lot of times Greg has got stuff sitting there, see those trees are right on that road. I mean, that was my other thought, but, someday, potentially we'll build another cabin there. And that was, on the north side is where we were gonna put that and the septic, kinda thinking to the future, I guess, so.
What was the
0.3 acres with 2 structures on it, there's no way you'll get a septic system on that.
Well, it would be like a little 1,000 square foot
Yeah,
addition on there, and,
that would be extremely difficult.
right, and that's why we're keeping everything tucked to the, I'm thinking a 24 by 40 on the north end that attached to that pole barn, and then that leaves the whole north half of the lot for septic. Kinda why we're crowding down to that end, so.
What's the lot dimensions on that, Josh?
Right here, so that south end is 85.7 feet, and 106.03 feet in the north. And that's a little blurry right now, but, and then they've got a 10-foot wide kind of easement for utilities on the border of all these lots. Which he's outside of, but.
Those lots are so tight down there, if you actually look at that picture of Dave Weedmeyer's, that lot line isn't exactly accurate, but I would say the overhang of his roof is in about 5 feet of my property line, so it's not a uncommon issue. If you look at my pole barn, that was built 4 feet probably from the property line, and I mean, I get it. I think that those numbers were meant for the bigger 1.5 lots, not having these in mind at that point.
Damn, are they tight?
Oh, I wish I had a little more. If you guys wanna stretch it for me, I'd take it, but I'm trying to, do what I can, get my needs met with, an imperfect situation there. I wish they worked together, but, and that's a similar sized lot. That cabin's 960 square feet, and it has that building on it and a septic, so. It is doable, they just can't build mansions, and that's not me anyway, so.
You find something in the book here.
Would you guys ever foresee that road being put where it was supposed to be, or it's offset to the west, like, I don't know, what is it, 15 feet, something like that?
Yeah, I'm saying, if you adjust this line over, and my guess, when I was looking at, if everything got adjusted left, that center line would be on that edge
The
right
grass
here,
is,
so
yeah.
then that'll move this here.
Right.
Problem is I can't just change this, everything else has to get adjusted, so I have to check all these measurements to adjust, but.
It is crowded, huh?
Yeah.
Extremely. What happens when you guys get snow down there? Or nobody lives down there?
Oh, no, Reef lives there, Kelch is there a lot in the winter, they kinda take care of themselves, actually Kurt pushes the snow right out of that old alley that you guys dissolved for him, and pushes it over on that empty, or my empty lot, and he'll still be allowed to do that. I mean, there's 34 feet there if they need to push back, it gets a little tight on the west side, but you know, I think the maintainer comes through there once in a while, wings it back. You know, you live in the county, you gotta have your own equipment and be self-sufficient at that point. And we all work together to make sure we got room to pile and stuff, so.
Well,
Your
it looks
feeling,
like
Jim?
neighboring lots, there isn't, that setback is not.
Right, yeah, I mean, it,
Looks
those
to
were
be like
platted years
some of them
ago.
Further on top of each other.
Yeah, and I don't think nowadays they'd allow that, it's just, like I said, we're trying to work with what we got here, basically.
You said you do have letters from him?
Yeah, I actually have, these are emails and, they're kind of brief and to the point, and I actually just text both those guys, I have their numbers, if you'd like to, you know, I can call them if you have any questions for them, they said they try to be available, so.
And the DJ Weeds is the guy with the
Yeah,
deck, right?
Dave and Jody Weedmeyer are their names.
And the other one is?
John Bird,
East to the north of you?
east of the south.
South?
And it just, I guess we're really not infringing on him, it's Dave and the road easement there, so.
I still think 50 feet is not feasible for what's basically residential.
So what is it supposed to be, Josh?
40 from the road frontage, which usually would go off the edge of the road because they're typically placed where it's platted, you know. 50 feet from the rear and 15 feet from the side.
Okay. And this one is,
It meets the side.
oh, and it's 45, you said?
The side?
Yeah.
Side is 15 feet.
Oh,
He's at 25.
and that one's all right,
Yep, it's our rear and the
Front.
frontage.
and that frontage is how much short?
6 feet, he's at 34 feet.
Yeah,
That's a touchy deal.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd be more concerned about the road, I guess if you had your
That road gets
guy to the rear, that doesn't have a problem with it, but that road.
And I could try to push it back, I've actually been down and doing trying to rebuild that bank, I mean, I can push it back, I just don't want water issues with the building coming down that hill and rolling. Those stakes were set before we started hauling some fill back in.
From a liability standpoint, don't we have to be back with the setbacks? Here, let's see the setbacks.
Well, I mean, the trouble that you have is, again, what we're going through is a little bit of a zoning renaissance, we're trying to straighten some of this stuff out, that area is a disaster, it got parceled out. Strangely, they tried, you know, instead of making some of them lots, they should've just made one or two of them lots bigger instead of making 3 lots there. And then they sold it to folks, and then, you know, folks maybe didn't understand the rules on the setbacks, now they have this property they don't know if they can build on or not, and that's, you know, in a lot of ways, it's really not the county's fault, because it's a property that's parceled off, that's basically too small with the elevation, you know, if there was no hill there, you probably had a little more room, but you know, there's all these different things here, you know. So, and some of these parcel lots probably weren't really meant to get developed on, it's probably why they squeezed into the small acreages, hoping that the adjoining neighbors would just buy them, or that it would get used for campers or something, not to build homes and buildings, so it's, you just have to look at it as a board, and what, you know, the issue's not gonna be Greg and John and the neighbor that lives there, it's gonna be 10 years from now, when the properties have maybe changed hands once or twice, and the neighbors that used to get along or were relatives aren't anymore. And now you got a guy blocking a roof line, and then they go in and look at the zoning and realize that never should've got permitted, and now, I mean, that's where the consistency issue runs in. It's
And
not
then,
that,
even though that bank is there,
I
I know
can
you
tell
don't
you,
wanna spend the money,
I mean, in the cities,
but to push it back and keep it where it should be.
Well, that's what, Paul Rice owned it before me, and I've taken Phil out of it. And now he's having erosion issues, the deck is settling, so that's part of the putting it back.
Yeah.
And you know, it's gonna be hopefully a manageable slope where we can still mow it, but
I can just tell you that there's dozens of properties all over the county, especially in the towns, where they, like, where relatives are good neighbors and they, like, share a sewer line. And now the neighbors don't get along, and now it's an issue, like, I mean, it's kind of the same deal, where it's like, just because they're friends at the moment, or they're relatives, or they're working together at the moment, you gotta consider the long-term ramifications, and whether or not these setbacks mean anything, or any of the, you know, I guess in my opinion, I would stick to the setbacks, and you would have to conform to the setbacks and build a building that conforms to that. That's my opinion. Nothing personal or anything about it, you have a lot that's difficult to develop.
Right,
That's-
yeah. No, I get it, yeah.
And that's,
But you know, in same token, when that trailer got drug in there, 4 or 5 years ago, nobody reached out to me, and I have no issue with it, I mean, and I never would, like you say, the next guy might. I look at it as, if that building's there, and that trailer sells, you know what you're getting into at that time, you know, it's,
well, and I think that's what this board has realized, even with the, you know, getting Josh to take this position, where before we used to look at a building permit and be like, oh, nobody's here to complain, everything's fine, let them do it.
mhm.
And then what you have is you have this, you know, this snowball effect of multiple properties now that are creating conflicts because we weren't doing our due diligence, so that those kinds of properties are gonna, you know, run into those issues, and hopefully not. A lot of those problems are taking care of themselves out there in a way, because people are tearing down some of these older properties and they're building new properties, and when they do come in, they're building them a little, I mean, they're just building them different, or conforming more to the lots, you know, they probably have some financing involved that's forcing them to do things differently, everything, so.
Yeah.
I guess what bothers me is that hillside out in that area. Russell attests to this, is the road shifting in that hillside too.
The one shifting?
Yeah, the land shifting.
Oh, yeah, and I have pictures in my phone, I mean, that, probably over to that electrical box, that's all put back already, so I mean,
So it is moving.
No, we're hauling fill in to
Trying to
restore it to what it once was and make it, cause didn't want water coming down, eroding whatever we end up putting there, and, we're trying to rectify the situation basically, and make it work for everybody involved, you know, Dave had input on what we're doing and.
Well, I know, but the whole hillside is,
Shifting, yes,
Yes.
oh, without a doubt,
Yes.
and eroding, you can see those streaks in there where water has run down and pulled sand out.
And it'll continue.
Oh, yeah, it's just gonna get worse, I mean, every probably 3 years behind the power peds, I gotta go in with a tractor and scrape it out so that sand isn't running across, that's crushed concrete and gravel. Just we were using it for friends and family when they come down, but, yeah, it's kind of a mess, I agree.
if it does shift, who's liable for that then coming into your?
I would assume, I mean, me, but like I said, I mean, if you'd like to see the picture of what I've done, that hill is basically, it looks nothing like that anymore.
Yeah, that's a Google Earth picture from probably a year or two ago, and then.
2021.
So this is essentially what's been gone, you know, I'm bringing it probably to a,
Right.
whatever degree, you know, the hill is back, probably fairly steep, but we'd be able to put grass on it and mow it.
Try to stabilize it,
Right, yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know, does anybody else have any input to it?
Other than,
I'm
it'd be
not
a lot easier for us if you just move it a little further down.
Well, and I guess that is an option, it just, like I said, getting in and out of it with a, 42-foot deep building, now I'm driving on Craig Kelch's property, which we get along well, I'm sure he wouldn't care.
Well, it's just a matter of the setbacks, it is every time you give a little to one person,
There's more and more.
Yeah.
well, there are more people that come up, and 5 years down the road, whoever's still on this commission, you're probably gonna take a chewing about it. It might not be yours, but it's gonna be somebody else's. I mean, you set these setbacks, up for a reason, and if you don't follow them to the letter of the law, somebody will try to take advantage of you or use it against you, and that's what gets to be
Clear
tough.
zone also in this year.
But these setbacks seem like, I did some land developing in Burley County, these are the similar setbacks we used on 1.5 acre lots. There again, were these size lots considered when that was adopted? 'Cause,
Well, the one thing I can tell you that's changed is there's a lot of times we don't even approve plats with lots this size.
Oh, yeah,
For
with
this
good
very
reason.
reason
Oh, yeah,
too,
I
I mean,
agree.
this is part of the problem,
Yeah.
and you gotta have,
Yeah,
I
acres
mean, I
per
think the
septic.
smallest one that I think we've considered lately is probably, what, 1/2 acre? I mean, if they are gonna split lots and make them this small, then it's under the assumption that they understand that it's
Yeah.
probably not developable, it's more of a, for whatever reason, they want to parcel it that small, it's for some other reason.
Camper pad or whatever.
Well, I mean, just like even just like the legal ramification of it, it's not really the responsibility of the county to make it conform to the use of the landowner, it's the landowner's job to make it conform to the use of the county. So that's just where the consistency matter comes in. You grant the variance, but I mean, if you're gonna grant variances for all the setback stuff, then you really don't have setbacks.
No.
That's just where it comes down to.
Well, I think with these lot sizes down there, that you'll be running into this less and less, I mean, they've gotten bigger, Richter's aren't those 1.5 lots?
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of that, I mean, it is, the landowners are getting better about it, cause they've learned the lessons of the past from the neighbors here too, and I think the county enforcement has gotten better, I mean, where we've just recognized that this stuff doesn't work anymore,
Yes, absolutely.
this plat was designed 20 years ago, maybe more,
03?
yeah,
Oh,
so
three.
that's where, just a lot of stuff has changed with it. I don't even know if the expectation was that development would happen down there the way it has, I mean, so.
And prior it was trailer houses and
That's
makeshift
all right.
septics and, all the water, things have changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
illegal septics, I know that for a fact, so a lot of that's getting cleaned up too, so. I would make the motion to deny the permit as applied. I'm not against the building getting built on this lot, but this size, not conforming to the setbacks is my issue, so I would make a motion to deny the permit.
Aaron made a motion to deny as the application was submitted.
Can you
Is there-
seriously consider pushing that building now? I mean, it
Well,
really,
I mean,
it would make it really easy, because like you said, we're probably gonna run
How
into
wide are
this,
we there?
and if we bend on you,
We can't.
we're bending on everybody then.
No, the width on the other end, just out of curiosity.
On the south end,
Yeah,
it was 85.7.
that hill gets taller, so I'm gonna have to build out farther, and we're 106 on the other end, is that?
106 on the north end, yeah.
Really, that's not
So
much
you got
better.
another, 31.
Well, that's big up there.
If I would shrink it by 6 feet, where would that put us? If I would go to the west with it, then we'd have 40 feet exactly. Would that suffice? I mean,
If you took 6 feet off the west, you'd be at 40 then in the road, but you're still at 41.7 from the rear.
okay, I mean, and I believe somebody mentioned, it's more the road aspect, not, since he's already in agreement, could we get a variance for the back? And if I shrink it by 6 feet? Then we're out of the road easement, I guess. That would be my second choice, and I guess third, I could move it to the north end, but I'd have to go out and remeasure everything, and not that I'm not willing to do that, obviously, but it, wasn't even in my mind at that point, but.
Me just looking at that, that's what, I mean, that's my opinion, the building should be to the north,
Okay,
where you've got all kinds of.
I mean, yeah, and that's fine, I mean, I'm not here
You're
to,
compliant
yeah.
with everything.
we will, I mean, I can go out and remeasure, you know,
Yeah,
like I
that's
did,
probably a good idea, Greg, to look at it,
okay.
Nothing against you.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it, you guys are,
so we can.
Well, it's just a can of worms you open.
oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
it's-
no, I hear you. No, I have no issue, I guess, if I mean, it should, I guess I was thinking it was only 10, 12 feet wider, I didn't realize it got opened up that much. Yeah, I mean, I'll move it to the north end, that's not an issue.
Then I'll second that motion.
Okay, second by Garden, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, now do I have to
Reapply.
reapply? Okay. How can I do that today and then get it to you guys right away, or, cause Justin Jochum was planning on starting shortly, you know, in the next couple weeks, I guess, so if he doesn't get going, it won't get done this year.
Are you gonna be out there tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I'm out there today, I guess, I can stake it and,
Yeah, I'll go out and measure, then stake it.
okay, cause I mean, it looks like it should fit if, I can reapply and, was there actually location on that permit, or? I mean, the building would be the same dimensions, it would just
It's,
be
yeah,
a
the
different
map
location.
attached with it.
Oh, okay,
I think you might be able to draw one out, but.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll have to wait till next month to kind of resolve this then, basically.
Well, the only other thing we could do is that we could grant a permit and then contingent on Josh's approval and the setbacks. If it's
That'd be great.
compliant with the setbacks and Josh signs off on it, I wouldn't have a problem with it if you
No, I
could fit a
wouldn't
building on
either.
it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem
Yeah.
with building a building on the lot, you
Okay.
know, so.
Well, and like I say, if we have to adjust.
I'll make that, I'll make that motion the way that Aaron just said it.
Well, I'll make the
You'll make
motion,
the
okay,
motion.
I'll
I'll second it.
I'll make the motion
You just
to
amended it.
approve the building permit for Greg Lane with the contingent that Josh's final approval and the setbacks are complied by.
Okay,
I'll
Okay,
second.
I'll check it.
second by Garden.
yeah, I'll go,
Sure,
yeah,
you're
make that
right.
come.
Interesting or not.
It's a mess out there now.
All in favor of what they just amended?
Yes.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
So Josh, it's approved as long as you guys can
Yeah,
fit it on the lot,
if
so
Josh
it
is
conforms.
okay with
If
that,
it conforms and you're okay with it, you go out with it, then
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you,
guys,
Greg.
appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time, have a good
Appreciate
day. You guys want these copies, or, no, I think you have them.
Give them to Josh, yeah, we got it.
I think you guys got them, okay. All right, you guys have a good day, thank you much.
Thank you. Russ Lawler, item F, County Road Department monthly update.
Oh, Russ.
Hey guys,
Russ.
to start out with here, I'd like to bring in, I brought in some guys here, for the whole crew actually. There's been some discussion on the sick leave and vacation policies. There's a couple guys that are getting close to the maximum allowed, and I think wants to be a little discussion on maybe if there can be some changes or any changes that could be done, or if there's no changes whatsoever, I guess. It's up to you guys, I think, according to change anything that needs to be done there. And, I think what I'm gonna do is let Gar come up and talk and explain to you guys what the scenario is and what he's thinking, I guess, if that's okay.
Hi, first of all, I'd like to say thank you, commissioners, for this opportunity to speak with you today, so. I do enjoy providing safe roads for farmers and ranchers of the Emmons County and the general public, and, the road system is a tool that they need to run and to run their businesses, and I'm dedicated and try to do the best with the tools and materials and we have to provide that service for the past 24 years. With the sick leave, you know, I'm up to the limit of 800 hours. And basically, you know, how do do you get 800 hours, it's like, keep showing up for work even when you don't sometimes feel like it, you know? Cause in the past, you know, we were a little short-handed, so the workload was more, you know, and probably the first and foremost reason was because I couldn't afford to use them, you know, at the wages I was getting in the past, it's like, I needed that, overtime. We were getting overtime most of the, well, up till 2 years ago, so, I needed that overtime, you know, $50 a week, $60, $70, $100 a week, so I needed it, so that's why I didn't use the sick leave, you know, or the overtime either, or the vacation, and, you know, we were less with, employees, so supervisor asked you to come help, so come help, dedicated to help, you know, so that's how it got to where it's at, you know.
So what's the policy now? There is no policy, or?
There is a policy.
The policy is you can accrue up to 800 hours, that's the max.
Oh, that's the max.
Yep, and you get paid out 20 days of sick leave when you retire.
20 days.
Yep.
So that isn't close to 800 hours.
800 hours is 100 days you get to carry over.
That's what you get.
Okay.
Right.
That's like that.
To use
most
it.
government entities.
Huh?
To use
No.
it, not get paid.
Most government, the federal government does not pay out any sick leave. They hold it for 5 years when you leave in case you come back, and after that, it's in thin air.
I mean, I guess, one thing, you know, with other businesses, they don't call it sick leave, they'll call it a personal day,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? I know, other companies, other employers, I mean, that's what they call it. And I don't wanna lie, I'm not gonna call and lie to my supervisor if I'm not sick, cause I haven't done it yet, and I ain't gonna start.
No. No.
So, would you prefer we take away sick days and give you 3 personal days? Is that what you're asking for?
No,
That's how the
I'm
railroad
just
works.
like, I've already lost, if you check with Marlis, I've lost, you know, I don't know how many in the past.
How many days have you lost?
Probably, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, I don't know. Like this last month, I know I was at 100, the month before, I'm still at 100, you know, so you just lose them if you don't use it.
Have you looked at the manual and read what sick leave is, cause I'll just read it for the board members. Sick leave is a privilege granted to all regular employees and is not a benefit considered to be earned by the employee such as annual leave. That's written right in it. I've worked for the federal government, pretty much the same rules as here, except we didn't get paid for it. I worked for the railroad, you had no sick leave. Every railroad in this nation has 0 sick leave. You have 3 personal days to use and you have your vacation, that's it. I work for myself now, and I don't get either. If I don't go to work, I don't get paid. So I've been to all of them, so I would be happy to carry over 800 hours and lose sick leave every month, to have 100 days at my disposal if I get sick, and get paid 20 of those days when I leave. I don't see anything wrong with this sick leave policy whatsoever. I honestly don't. That's just my opinion. I get you're losing them. You're all compensated substantially better than probably when you started 23 years ago, I get that. But sick leave.
It's like in the past, though, like I said, I couldn't afford to use it.
I get that,
It's in the past.
You know? I'm just telling you the history is all.
What are your suggestions, Gar? I mean, do you have any suggestions?
Well, at the end of the month, why can't you just add those 8 hours on, if I'm at the max, why can't you just add those 8 hours on the pay check?
Cause that would get pretty expensive for the county taxpayers.
Yes.
For something that you already have a pretty good benefit, if you would ever get sick, you have 100 days.
Yeah, but I had to earn them though, I had to show up to work.
You didn't earn them.
It's a privilege,
says it
I know,
right here.
it's a privilege, I know.
It's a
But then,
privilege.
You earn your leave, your annual leave you earn. And I don't disagree that maybe a few personal days is probably not a bad idea. Cause there are a lot of places that do give 3 personal days that you have throughout the year that you can't carry over, and you pretty much cannot be denied taking a personal leave. That was the one thing about the railroad I will say. you had those 3 days and they couldn't tell you couldn't take them. So I won't disagree with you that some personal days would be nice.
Right.
I had it where I worked, where guys, or she would call in, not sick, claim it was a sick day,
Yeah.
but not sick, they didn't wanna take a vacation day, they wanted it as a sick day, well, they caught on to it, and then when they claimed they were sick, they had to bring a doctor's slip in to prove they were sick, and they eventually weeded themselves out.
So just for like a head cold, sore throat, you're gonna need a doctor to look
No,
at?
that's an option that the supervisor has if they think that somebody's abusing it. I don't think any employer wants to do that to their people, because that just creates mistrust, and you think we don't trust you, and that's not the game we wanna play. That is not the game.
Well, I think
That's
you
not
have the
all
right
I wanna
work,
play.
work ethic.
Yeah.
Too, that you wouldn't do that. You know?
I mean, is that something that would make you feel
That's how
better
you ended
about
up
it,
with
or
that many.
some personal days?
Yeah.
I mean, some personal days is something that you feel would be a benefit and would help out, or
It
not?
would be the same, wouldn't it? Would it be it's the same thing, I think.
Well, personal days are something you can use for whatever you
Right.
want. You can take them as vacation, you can take them as sick, you can take them to do
I
whatever
mean,
you want.
I've gotta be thankful, you know, I've been healthy and, you know, don't get sick, and my family's been healthy, so I didn't need to take, you know, stay home with the kids when they were younger, and now they're all gone, and so I was blessed that way, so.
I think we as all employees are blessed with Emmons County, the program we've got. You get 100% health insurance paid, do you know?
Yes, sir.
Correct? There ain't too many places that do no longer.
No, and
than
that's,
Emmons County.
that's why I stuck with the job, because it was paying, I didn't, you know, I couldn't afford, I had 4 kids when I started, so I didn't have health insurance for them, so. But that's another reason why I stay dedicated to the job.
Emmons County kicks in 100% into individual retirement.
Correct. That's right.
I feel that if we cave on every complaint that is by employees, I think we have to stay in compliance with our policy as is.
Yeah,
This is only my opinion, nothing against you, Gar, nothing, or any other employee out there. That's only my opinion, and it's so clear, the handbook, what it
Yeah.
states.
I know, I've read it,
Anything else, Craig? Do you have anything to add?
Well, sick day, that's for when you really are sick.
Yeah, personal day would kinda give you a little more flex.
Give you a little more leniency.
I mean, you could just take, if you wanted to take a day off, you could do that. And not have to feel bad about being, I mean, you wouldn't have to say you're sick, you could just take a day off.
If you had to take your wife to the doctor or something,
Right.
that would be a personal day.
she's got a dental thing coming up, so she probably won't be able to drive, but.
Well, if you've got a personal issue to take care of on a day, you have to take a vacation if I'm reading this correctly, correct?
What's that?
If you have something that you need to take care of, say tomorrow, and you call in and you're not sick, you can't take a sick day. You have to take a vacation day.
If it's driving my wife to the hospital or getting her from a dental where she can't drive after, you can use a sick day for that.
Can you? Okay.
Okay.
But you for a
They say
person,
that. I don't know if you read the whole thing.
Yeah, no, you can, yep, absolutely, you're 100% right. It's for family,
Or
yeah.
kid, you gotta take a kid to
Anything medical
the, for your
related.
family.
So then you can use a sick day.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's,
And we have a pretty good sick policy, like I said,
Yeah, it's.
it mirrors the federal government. You got Family Medical Leave Act, you can take, that, you know, for something serious with a family member, where you're not, you know, not driving them back and forth, but you're sitting in the hospital with a family member or something serious like that, you can do that too.
Yes.
I mean, we have a good policy, I think. I don't disagree with you that it sucks to lose days, but I mean, when you have 100 days banked, God forbid something would happen, that
well,
you're gonna be.
I know, it's good insurance.
Yeah, it
it's a
is.
good insurance plan.
I
You throw a shoulder out, you gotta have surgery, you still get paid.
I know,
Yeah,
And you'll probably get workman's comp. You have two on top of it, or will you not?
only if it happens at work.
Yeah.
right.
Well, I think the one thing to probably just remember, probably what the crux of the issue here is that you have you have a tenured employee who's basically reaching the max on their benefits, you know? And when you have someone here, especially someone who's been here like Gar, who's been here 24 years, I mean, he's been offered the road superintendent job probably half a dozen times. He's that kind of employee that we want here. You know, the difference of using a sick day that he's been earning versus using vacation, I mean, there really isn't a big difference. Cause he's maxed out on everything. So.
There is a difference, isn't it?
No, there isn't a difference in the general sense that they have leave no matter what. If he got denied a sick day, he can just take a day vacation. You know, the point of the matter is how we're treating our employees out there with some stuff. You got these guys that are maxed out. As the road superintendent, Russ has the ability to deny vacation to these guys. If they really needs them in there that day, you gotta have them, that's fine. And I think most of these guys understand when they're needed and when maybe it's probably a day to maybe take a sick day or something. And I think that has to be just understood in the department. Like, you got a guy like Gar wants to take a day off to do some stuff, he's got some sick time that he's probably gonna lose anyway, he wants to take a sick day, all he'd have to do is lie and cough on the phone a little bit and say he's got one. I mean, are you gonna give him a sick day or not? I mean, it's about how the department is ran and how everybody's gonna coexist in that department. You have tenured guys that have time to burn, and you have guys that have probably only been here a year or two that don't. And those guys aren't gonna take as much time as the guys that have. It's like that in any business. I mean, anywhere you worked or anything, the guys that had 30-some years of experience, they probably weren't at work as much. They had more preferences and more benefits and more abilities, and that's what we have here. So we have kind of the haves and the have-nots in the group, and the haves have earned that by 20-some years of probably working nights and weekends and holidays during the ugly winters, and I think the preference of this board, at least that I've been on it, is you want you guys to burn their time in the summer. You can drive on a road that's got washboards, you can't drive on a road with a foot of snow. And so what happens is these tenured guys have the max vacation, and we go through a winter from hell like a couple of years ago where they're working Saturdays and Sundays, they can't even go to doctor's appointments. Well, now they're going over on their vacation. So then we grant extensions. Well, now they gotta burn not only the vacation you extended them on in the summer, but the vacation they're accruing too. So the policy or the idea has always been in the summer when these guys wanna take off, you kinda turn them loose a little bit. So, I mean, that's up to the superintendent in a lot of ways to make sure he's managing the department, but I mean, these are benefits that these guys are earning, so you gotta be respectful to that too. I mean, a lot of these guys that are gonna be looking at retiring in the next 5 to 10 years, they're looking to probably cash out those vacation hours and stuff like that when they get paid, same with their sick time. I mean, they wanna max out their benefits, who wouldn't? When I worked at the coal mine, no one retired January 1st, they all retired February 5th. And that's cause they got 4 to 5 weeks of vacation that started over in January, so they took a month off, then they retired. So we ate a lot of cake in February usually at the mine, so, I mean, it's not unheard of for employees to wanna max out their benefits and utilize every angle so that they have their maximum when they do retire, leave, whatever, so. I don't disagree, I think the policy is fine in a lot of ways. It's the management of the policy in the department that's gonna dictate what this conversation is really about. You know, are you gonna let some of your tenured guys that have been there a long time, you know, take the day off after a rain day and do some stuff or not? And if you do that stuff, it's, you know, I mean, whether you call it a sick day or a personal day, it really don't matter.
Yeah.
Right, there has been no denial of any of these guys wanting a day off when they want it. I have not denied anybody a day
There
off.
we go.
So declare, excuse me,
Well,
declare that out.
I just meant that you have that authority, like if it's the middle of a blizzard and 3 guys wanna take off, it's like, no, you can't, like that.
Right.
And you have that authority, and this
Yeah.
board supports that, I believe, you gotta get the work done. But then that conversation, it's happened with every road superintendent, it happened under Nick, Francis, Skylar, everybody appreciated that, like, when it was times are tough and we were getting snow every 2 days, these guys weren't applying for vacation, they weren't. Unless they just, maybe somebody really did a doctor appointment they couldn't miss, but.
And that's what I'm saying about the
Right.
workload in 2020, when they had those 350 sites. That
Yeah.
summer, nobody had to take any vacation, there was a whole
Right.
summer, we worked on all those sites that were frost boils, whatever.
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
we never had time at the work.
Well, that, I mean, that's where I'm getting at, is you got some of these guys that have been through some rugged battles. And if you want them to go through those rugged battles with you, you gotta make sure that you're honoring your benefits package. Now, I know we have rules and we have policies, and I agree we need to stick by them in every way, shape, or form, but when you have some times when you can cut some guys loose and give them some slack and let them enjoy some things with the job, you gotta make sure you're doing that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not advocating for people lying, I'm not advocating for any of that, but, you know, the reason we have this as a benefits package is just like vacation or anything. It's for people to get a chance to get out of here without losing their financial benefit to it and being able to do some of the things they enjoy, because when we need them here, we need them here. And when we've needed them here, these guys have been there. And I can speak with Guard especially for that. Al's another one. I mean, no disrespect to any of the other guy. Ellingson was around, I mean, a couple years ago when we had that, Justin, I think, just started. I mean, Mike was here, I mean, we had some, that was a tough winter. And as the chairman of the board, it was a tough winter. And I can tell you, I appreciated every one of them being here and doing what they're doing. So if they wanna cut loose for a sick day every once in a while, like, I think that, I just don't really see a problem with it if it's something that, well, they're gonna lose it, well, let them take a sick day every once in a while.
Oh, and I don't have an issue with that either. And if you carry over leave, I don't have an issue with paying that out because you can't take it, to be honest with you. My heartburn is with sick leave. You have a pile of it. If you wanna take a mental day, you wanna call in cause you need a day off, that's between you and your supervisor. I don't micromanage. My point is, I don't believe in paying for sick days. I mean, you do get paid 20 days and that's in the policy, and I wouldn't change that, whatever, that doesn't bother me. But I'm not a big fan of paying sick days. Your annual leave, absolutely. If you have to carry it over because you worked your tail off the whole summer, winter, and you guys had 100 extra hours you couldn't burn, pay it out. It's already in the budget anyway, because you could have taken it throughout the year. I have no issues with paying that out or taking it, and if you call in because you need a mental day off, once again, not my issue. That's between you and the supervisor. So, I mean, I don't have any issues with that.
Yeah.
My only heartburn is paying extra sick days above and beyond. How you burn them, that's entirely between you and your supervisor. And I'll stay completely out of that.
And again, there's been no denial as far as when they call or ask for a day off, there has been no denial. What GAR is asking, I think, for, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're asking to be compensated for anything above and beyond the maximum allowed.
Not that, it's just, you know, it was just, you know, that day it was raining, we were, that week it rained all week, and I thought Thursday I couldn't blade anyway. Gonna use a sick day, but I was being upfront with you and told you, you know, we ain't gonna be able to blade this day, so I used the vacation day instead, so.
But I think that's how it should be
Yeah,
handled, the
you
way I
can do
read
that,
this.
rather than,
You should take a vacation day, right?
Right, but I could've lied to him
I know,
and said,
It probably wouldn't have been good in the future if you'd have gotten the mail lied to. I mean, I'm just saying it from, even if I lied on
Right,
an issue.
that's right, and I don't wanna ever do that, I never did it to no other supervisor, and I ain't gonna start it, like I told you. I won't ever do that.
And I will admit, there's gotta be some flexibility on sick time as far as the fact that you don't necessarily have to have the flu or pneumonia to take a sick day.
I mean, a head cold, a sore throat, you know, there's many
There are
days I
days when
showed
people
up.
need a, there
because I
are
had
days
to.
when people need a break. I mean, if it gets to be abused, then it's an issue, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm,
I guess that was,
I'm flexible.
what I meant by it is when you talk about the abuse level of it, when you have especially your tenured employees, your guys that you're probably gonna rely on, if things get tough, if they call for a sick day, but my point is that's where, that's gonna have to be between your supervisor, the department. If Russ is gonna be the guy that's gonna be really tough on the sick time, then, you know, there's gonna be guys that don't appreciate that. If you're the kind of guy that's just like, yeah, take a sick day, what the hell, I mean, that kind of stuff pays dividends later on, that's where my point is with that, and especially with you got your guys here that have only been here a couple of years, they probably got 1, 2, 3 sick days per, you know, they're gonna maybe try and store them, and especially with a policy like this, I would try and build them up as much as I can.
Yeah.
But when you're at that point, when you've got everything stored up, that also means that you're the guy that's been showing up every day too, and for 24 years, you're maxing out on all your benefits. That is also a tale of a guy that's been here, like, and done the stuff you wanted him to do, so when they wanna take a sick day so they don't lose it, if it's kind of a no-loss kind of day, like you said, after a rain day, just things going on, that's where the management of your department is gonna, I don't think any commissioner's gonna sit here and wanna micromanage the fact that we saw a guard at the grocery store the day you gave him a sick day. I don't think anybody's got a problem with that. It's gonna be up to you to manage that workload, because there's gonna come times when you're gonna have to deny vacation. So you're gonna wanna be careful about,
Well, that's,
you gotta wanna get them guys out of there when you can get them out of there sometimes, because there's gonna be times when you can't, and then it really makes it a mess, where we are gonna have to buy out vacation, or you're gonna be extending it through the summer, and then you're gonna have a summer where everybody's gonna have 40, 50 hours on top of the hours already accruing. Then what do you do? Like, that's where the vacation mess starts to become, like, as a superintendent, these guys that have been here 10, 15, 20 years, they're accruing it as fast as they burn it. It's a management situation, cause that is the benefit, that's part of the longevity, if you will, of, hey, I've been here 20 years now, I get my time, and that's just, it's like that everywhere in a lot of ways. I mean, you go almost anywhere, hospitals, anywhere, in every staffing level. The tenured ones generally get the pick of the schedules, pick of the vacations, just cause that's the perk of going through the battles for the first 10, 15, 20 years, that's.
So one thing I'd like to see you guys look at is, like 2 years ago, when we had to use our vacation before, when that big storm was, and, you know, I had to come in, it happened to be 2 weeks in a row, or 2 weeks, where I came in on a Thursday and worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for straight time. You know, where I was on vacation and I came in because it snowed. I just thought that's kind of a, you know, something you could look at about changing, working on the weekends. You know, usually, yeah, you get overtime because you got the hours in, but when you're on vacation and you have to come in.
When you mix vacation with work time, then it takes more hours to get overtime, cause you don't pay overtime on vacation.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I worked all weekend for straight time.
Yeah.
I think it's the IRS ruling though.
huh?
I think there's something with the IRS with that though.
They'll step in.
I think so.
Rules, huh?
There's rules, I'm sure, in the county government, like federal government. state
Well,
government.
I think with that, that's something where you could probably consult with maybe Tanya with the HR deal and see if you could, you know, maybe there's a scenario where if it's that big of a deal, you can offer some kind of like an on-call pay or a bonus, or, I mean, there's other things you can probably do to compensate that, but. I mean,
And another thing is, like, that time when that girl was stranded out in the gravel road and I went out with Gary, it was very stressful. I got paid 2.5 hours. Almost got the blade stuck in the middle of the highway. Was it worth it to me? No. You know, and that's all I got for it, was them 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a thing where you could pay a half a day at least, or, you know, for coming in an emergency like that.
Yeah, that might be something to look at. Cause that, 2.5 hours, that was not good enough really for something like that.
Well, the fact you might not come back.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there's always, you know,
Risk.
there's always things you can do to make stuff like that a little, I mean, the bottom line is you want your employees to come to work for you.
Yeah.
Whatever benefits package offer, everything you're offering, you want people to come to work for you, you wanna retain and recruit. So it's the reason why we do what we do all the time with these benefits, policy changes, pay wages, I mean, everything is to keep the people we have and recruit the people we need to replace, so. I mean, I think all of those are alternatives you can look at, you know. I think, just to be fair too, I mean, the carrying over benefits for stuff like that and everything too is kind of built into some of that, I mean, you know, there are a lot of places that don't let you get to carry over a lot of stuff like that, so it's, but that kind of bleeds into the sick time and stuff again. So you have people that go out and flag off a flooded road for 2 hours on a Saturday night, and all they get paid for is 2 hours. Left their families, did all the stuff. 6 weeks later, when there's a day that seems like they're not that needed, and they wanna pop a sick day because they're gonna lose it, that's where you need to kinda just be like, you know what, you've come through with all this stuff, you could've said no and said you were sick the night you had to flag that road, and you didn't, so. That's what I'm getting at, like, I'm not advocating for lying, or that the policy is right, wrong, or indifferent, but that's where the management of the employees comes in, where you have to just be like, are you gonna allow that kind of, you know, are you gonna allow and compensate people in their own way for that stuff? You know, Al went out for 2 hours and probably saved somebody's life and did all that other stuff and got paid $87 after taxes, whatever, but then he wants to take a sick day that may or may not be perfectly in line with the book. If it's me, I'm cutting him loose, I'm letting him take that sick day. Like, that's what I'm trying to advocate for, is making sure that it's gotta be a give and take. If you want your employees to come in Saturdays and Sundays and holidays and all that, when you're going through horrible situations, then when it's a Thursday afternoon and it's not that big a deal if they're there now, or Thursday and it's not that big a deal, then you let them cut loose if they have some time. That's where the management comes in. That's my point. So, and that's where those conversations need to kinda happen too, where you recognize when the guys go above and beyond, so there's times when you need to go above and beyond back for them, so.
No matter what, you got anything to say?
So that kinda just leaves it up to Russ, huh?
You're the go to the bad guy.
Yeah, right.
I guess I was.
Maybe not where you wanted to be, Russ.
Yeah, that's fine, we can definitely work it like that, I didn't know there was some, I mean, I was following the policy, I guess is what I was doing.
Right, but my point is you can't create a policy that's gonna cover every situation. That's where you put people in charge of the departments and stuff to make those management decisions. Like I said, if you would go through and make a list of all the things Gar and Al and Ellingson and Mike and no offense to any guys, some of the guys that have been here a long time, they run into these circumstances where they are doing stuff. The sheriff calls them, somebody's going out, they're knocking a trail open for Kim or something, doing the extra stuff that you love to applaud for them and you wish you seen in the paper. But you don't. But then their benefits kinda are supposed to speak for that, so when there's times to use these benefits, you gotta make sure that you're treating them fair enough that they wanna come back to work. That's the supervisor's mentality. You're not breaking a policy, you know, it's just, if it doesn't fit 7 different lines, that doesn't mean it's not an excusable time. I mean, so he's not coughing, he doesn't have to take his wife to work, but he's sick and tired of being at work, and he's absolutely disgusted with it for the day. You know what? Cut him loose and give him a sick day so he comes back on Monday wanting to come back. That's what I'm advocating for. That's how I manage my employees. I mean, there's times when they ask for things and you're like, you know what? I'd rather struggle today than have you here the way you are, so just go home. And then they come back, and then
But there is a limit to this.
There's a limit to this.
I'm not saying that they should be free, but that's the point of the superintendent. Like, if Russ feels like someone's abusing it, it's like, geez, you're asking for a sick day every month because you have one? No, I would deny it, but you gotta measure the employees. When you have guys that are maxed out on this stuff, like I said, they've been here, obviously. If Gar's been here 24 years, he's got 2 sick days, that guy's taking his sick days when he can. When you got a guy that's maxed out on him, and he wants to burn one here or there, that's where the superintendent needs to decide, like, I mean, am I just gonna follow the handbook and I don't care how the employee feels, or am I gonna let this guy who's probably earned this day to just take a day? Like, and the management of that is gonna dictate the morale of the department, how the guys react to you and how they wanna work. That's just life, that's not just the Emmons County Road Department, that's every job I've ever worked. I mean, I had a boss that was pretty cool, no questions asked about time off, and I didn't really try to abuse it, and when the time came, I knew I was gonna be able to leave when I had to, because he wasn't that guy. And I respected him for it, and I worked hard for it. That's the way I was anyway, and I'm sure a lot of these guys are like that. If Russ is gonna treat him fair, and give him maybe even the benefit of the doubt on some of these benefits, when he needs them on a Saturday afternoon, he's gonna have a full crew. That I can tell you.
So Gar, did you have a cut and dried policy you wanted to present to us at all?
No,
Okay.
I just wanted to just.
So you were upset about the one day, if I'm hearing this right, about where you gotta take a vacation versus a sick day?
No, in general,
From what I heard.
in the past, other superintendents, they, you know, like you guys said, I never ever abused it. But in the past, you know, they're, like Randy, I don't make stories up and I tell the truth, and
Yeah.
some days it's just like, I might as well use it, I'm at the maximum, can I use one, you know?
And I'll be honest, it took place here, what was it, a week ago? roughly. It was a rain day and stuff, and it's on me. I was not, didn't think I had that opportunity to, I thought you had to be sick to be sick, to use a sick day.
Oh,
That's on me, I guess, again, I didn't know I had this option, and I can easily address it from here, knowing this, but this was something I was not aware of that.
I think your employees can be upfront with you, I mean,
And he was upfront, and we had a discussion,
you don't have to fake being sick.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so.
I guess, I mean, the point I'm trying to make is I really don't see a difference between a sick day and a personal day
No.
and some of this stuff. That's, like, if the superintendent is running the department the way he wants to run it, and he wants to cut some of these guys loose when there's a chance to, and Garb wanted to use a sick day because he was gonna lose it anyway versus just a day of vacation or something, like, in my mind, that's a superintendent's decision. I'm not gonna sit here as a county commissioner, cause Gar's gonna earn that sick day back, or he's gonna accrue all this time back. He's at that level where he's accruing time as fast as he's burning it, so, whether it's sick day or vacation, he's gonna be maxed out in a month or 2 or 3 months again anyway, cause Gar doesn't take 2-3 week stretches, otherwise he wouldn't have this vacation and sick time, so. I'm advocating for the department to kind of manage itself, I mean, within the guidelines of the handbook, but at the same time, it's not like, well, he doesn't have this specific one illness that line 6 says, I can't give you a sick day. If he wants to turn him loose for the day and Gar wants to use sick day versus vacation, he can, my opinion, he can run that department as he sees fit. As long as the work's getting done, if he's gonna deny it because they need a full crew there to haul stuff, tough, man, that's the boss's decision, but just remember that it has repercussions too, you gotta be lenient somewhere else, otherwise you're gonna have a crew that's not gonna be, they're gonna take every opportunity they can, whether it hurts you or not, and where if you have a group that wants to work with you and has the morale, they're gonna only ask you when they really feel like they can ask you, and as a boss, you gotta decide if, letting a guy burn a sick day every once in a while is worth maybe burning a bridge, that's the biggest thing that I feel is. And I think every department pretty much is in the same boat.
For the taxpayer, you feel will be okay with it?
Well, I think the taxpayers are gonna be happy with having quality employees that wanna come to work, and so when there's times to cut them loose on a Thursday afternoon in August, I mean, as a taxpayer, I'd rather have them guys here the day of a snow day in December and have them take, I use the DOT for example, I was always told that North Dakota DOT likes when guys take shoulder and knee surgeries and all that in May and June. Cause they can live on a road in the summer, that's a little rough, but you can't do it in the winter. So that's where I've always advocated for letting these guys burn their leave and stuff that they have coming to them in the summers, so. But that's also at the workload of the department, if the department needs you, you gotta come in, but if there's times to cut them loose, you gotta take advantage of cutting them loose. Otherwise, them building up a bunch of vacation and sick time is a benefit they don't care about if they can't use it. So then it's one less thing to care about with your job.
So that kinda leaves it to you, Russ.
Yeah, and that's totally fine, like I said, this one was on me, then it was my mistake, and I'll do it right from here, but again, I did not know I had the option to do that.
Well, I wouldn't call it a mistake or nothing,
No,
it's just
it's
a part of
not.
the process with everybody, and I mean, no offense, you're new to the spot, you're managing these guys. Some of these guys are easy to manage, they don't have any benefits hardly, they've only been here 6 months or a year, they're easy. It's the guys that have been here way longer than you that they've been through the hard battles and now they wanna use some of these benefits they feel like they've accrued, and that's where you're gonna have to manage that.
Anybody else got anything to add, say?
Nobody else?
If I could address the board, I think you've talked about several things here today. And I think one of the things that, in my opinion, is you're now muddied the waters even more. I guess I'll ask Mr. Hanson, and I think you really need to get HR involved in that conversation. You've now told the supervisor that he can use his discretion and not follow policy. To me, that is going to be a problem down the road, not only for Russ, for me, any other department head supervisor. That you have now given us the authority to not follow policy, but to use our discretion. And I can see problems down the road, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe next year, is one employee is given discretion to use sick time instead of vacation time because they're a good employee. And that employee is not given that opportunity. I see a problem down the road here. I think you're going down a path to deviate from a policy. If you want to deviate from the policy, change the policy.
Yep.
Change the policy. Do not give authority to use discretion, and change policy on a case-by-case basis. You're not talking, and again, it's not about an employee that has no vacation on the books, okay? There's an option. You don't earn, once you max out on your sick time, 800 hours, equivalent to 100 working days, you don't earn anymore. You don't earn it past that. So it's not like you're losing something that you haven't earned yet. But I think you're going down a very slippery road, telling a supervisor to use their discretion to not follow policy on a case-by-case, employee-by-employee type thing. I see that being problematic down the road. And you're gonna be back in here again, trying to clear those waters up. Talk to HR, that's why we pay her. Get some feedback from her on that, on what to do.
I went over this last night, over and over and over on the sick leave deal. Sick leave is a privilege granted.
Right.
To all regular employees. It's not a benefit considered to be earned by the employee, such as an annual leave.
Right.
It's black and white.
Right.
And it's so, I mean, like you say,
I'm just saying, I mean, this is not about GAR, it's not about
picking on
any
anybody.
employee. It is, what is the purpose of a policy? If you're not going to follow the policy, if you don't like the policy, change the policy. Change the policy. Okay, don't, because again, I just see it being problematic in a road. Again, we're gonna grant GAR that discretion, Russ is gonna give that, but now, 2 months down the road, 3 months in a row, employee B comes in and says, I wanna use my vacation, or sick time instead of vacation. No, you can't. Well, wait, why can't I? Why could he? You know, it puts it back on Russ. As being the bad guy.
It's all on him then,
Right.
and on you.
And you have to give any supervisor, me or him or anybody else, that's the purpose of a policy, is to follow that. If you don't like the way it reads, change the policy. I just think it'd be problematic down the road.
Not consistent, that's for sure.
So, first of all, we didn't change the policy at all. Second of all, it was only a suggestion I made. Third of all, you mean to tell me that there's a doctor's note and there's paper trails on every sick day that's ever been taken in Emmons County? That every department follows everything perfectly and no one's ever just been like, you know what, this person could probably use a sick day.
Right.
My point is, you have a superintendent, you have a department head that has a job to do. They have employees that know that job needs to get done. And then somewhere in the middle between properly executing their role and executing the benefits, there's always been a little bit of, I would call it leeway for the department head, the person in charge of that department who's making sure their department is being ran properly, to allow people to take time when they need to take time. It even says it in the handbook, that it's at the discretion of the department head. If Russ wants to follow the letter of the law completely in the policy book, he can. I never told him he had to do anything different. My suggestion was, as commission, are you guys gonna follow through with every sick day and make sure that everybody's doing it properly? Or are you gonna trust Russ to run the department as he sees fit? And if he runs that department in a certain way, shape, or form, that's going to affect the morale of his employees. If he's by the book on every dang thing, some of them guys aren't gonna agree with that, and they're either gonna leave or they're not gonna be great employees. But if he comes in here and he says, you know what, I just wanna cut these guys loose every once in a while and we're gonna use some sick time versus vacation time or whatever, like, does anybody really have a huge problem with that, is my point. And if you do, then he needs to follow the letter of the law to every aspect of it. I don't really have a problem with it as long as the department's getting ran properly and the guys are getting treated, I mean, as good as they can be treated and the morale's high so they accomplish the work. It's the only suggestion I made. There was no motions made, there was no policy change. It was a suggestion by one commissioner. Maybe I'm wrong, and that's fine. But I have several employees they've all been with me for quite a while, except the guy I just hired. And it's because I do everything I can to not only get the work done to operate my business, but I try and treat them as best as I can, so that way they go home to their families and their families appreciate coming to work at Megan Excavating. And that's my suggestion to Russ. And if there's widespread abuse, that's gonna be to the point where it's the detriment of the county, the department's going to suffer, and either Russ's job performance is gonna suffer, or the ones of the employees. I think there's enough knowledge base on the employees that we have in this county to start to know when there's abuse, and these department heads are gonna handle it. That's my point of it and my trust factor. I'm gonna leave it to the discretion of the department heads.
It does give you, you know, this privilege is exactly what Commissioner Terry said, it's privilege, you're right. But it gives me incentive, I don't know about anybody else, to keep showing up for work. And same with your vacation, it's an incentive to keep showing up. You know, and it keeps your morale up, you know, it's like, and, you know, so that I can provide the public safe roads to drive on. I enjoy doing it, I've done it, otherwise if I didn't, I would've been gone a long time ago. But it is a privilege and an incentive to keep showing up for work, you know, same with you guys give us vacation. That's another thing.
I think the whole premise of this particular meeting is, can we use sick time instead of vacation time?
Yeah.
That's the very simple question at heart here.
Yeah.
Okay, policy says sick time is for sick time. Sick time when you're sick, you take your sick time. Or you're allowed to use family sick time to take a family member to the doctor that can't drive, things like that. That's what it can be used for. So the question is, can you use sick time instead of vacation time?
No.
The conversation was, what about personal days? Our policy doesn't approach personal days, doesn't discuss that. If the county wants to incorporate, you can use up to 3 sick days per year, 5 days, whatever the number that is, for personal days, then change the policy, if that's the question. Can sick time be used for a personal day? Our policy doesn't discuss that. Look at incorporating that possibly, so that eliminates that.
Yep.
I think if you start allowing sick time to be used in lieu of vacation, even though I'm maxed out on my vacation, I don't wanna burn up my vacation. I'd rather burn up, and I'm maxed out on my vacation, I'm maxed out on my sick time. I wanna just keep using sick time instead of vacation time, just because I wanna bank my maximum hours. Then allow some personal time in there for sick time. We allow up to 5 days of family sick time per year, okay, for your sick leave. Allow X amount of days for personal time of sick time, if that's the question here.
Yeah, I think.
But change the policy, don't start going down this path and muddying the waters again. I think it's just gonna be problematic down the road.
Yeah. It'll give Russ a lot more consistency, something to go by.
Yeah, a lot of companies do offer personal time, okay, for whatever reason. Allow 3 days, 5, whatever days you decide on, if that happens. That sick leave, 3 days a year can be used for personal time, of your sick time. But, whatever number that is. But I think if you just start deviating from what the policy is, then what's the purpose of the policy?
There's no reason to vote that.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope to go down. So, you know, consider maybe adding some personal days in there, in lieu of a sick day, as a possibility. Because that's the whole purpose of this conversation, is it not?
That's what it's about.
Can we use sick time in lieu of vacation?
No, well, it really wasn't, it was the fact that he's losing a day every month of sick time, and.
He's not. If he's
Right,
maxed
you
out,
have to
he's
max
not
it.
earning
Right,
any
but
time.
that was really what he came to talk about, was the one day
Right.
that you would accrue a month if you were under 800 hours. That's really what you came here for, right? Not to say, can I take a sick day instead of leave, that's not really what you're here for necessarily. You're asking for suggestions, well, yeah, well, it's that day that you would accrue if you weren't maxed out. Is what you're asking about.
But like I said right from the beginning, you know, if it was just worded different, like you said, if it was a personal day,
Right.
then I don't feel guilty about it, you know, cause it, you know,
Well, I think that's.
it's a privilege you guys gave us, you know.
Now, the last thing you want to do is encourage employees in any department to say, you know what, cough, cough, hack, hack, I'm sick.
Yeah.
You know, no, you gotta be on the honor system on this thing, right? consult with the HR person that we have under contract to run that, if this is a question for her. And see if we could add 3 days a year, whatever number that is, that can be used in lieu of sick time, you know, or, yeah.
Add it to our policy.
Right, add it to the policy, change the policy. I mean, because during this conversation, you know, like, there was different things that were brought up, and, you know, like Al had brought up, okay? Emergency situations, getting called out for 2 hours, you know, that can be addressed. Again, is there a minimum, like a 4-hour minimum? Anything past 4, you're gonna get paid, you know, for a full day, or something like that. But I mean, you don't wanna discourage that kind of stuff, I mean, yeah. Those are things beyond any of our control. We have exigent circumstances, emergency situations, storms, blizzards. You know, that night, or that day that I had called Al to come out and get this girl, she was east of town here in the snowbank. Again, beyond any of our control, yeah, he only got 2 to 3 hours worth of pay. Maybe that's worth at least a minimum of something, having something like that to consider.
I would think so.
You know,
Yeah, what the world.
Is that something we can bring as a motion to change that in our policy today, or?
You gotta talk to
I think you talk with your
HR gal,
and you can look at it.
she can look at it and,
Yeah, I think we can amend the handbook pretty much any way we see fit, as long as it follows employment laws and
Right.
stuff. So yeah, you should consult somebody, but yeah.
But if the issue is, can you use sick time instead of vacation time, then add some personal days in there that can be used against your sick time. Or you don't have to be sick. You just wanna go out and, you know, spend the day with the family, personal time.
Cause it can get abused bad.
Yeah, and that's, you know, again, you don't wanna encourage employees to, again, be dishonest and not upfront. If you're sick, take it. If you're, you know, and again, we're all fortunate we have them, we can bank those days. And again, even if you go past 100, you know, we've had a couple of employees, you can request vacation, or excuse me, request sick time from coworkers.
Right.
You know, let's say you're stricken with cancer treatment issue, or something, it's gonna be on that 100 days, you can collect something. We've had employees do that already, so there's an option there for that. You know, in FMLA, so, but, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anything else, guys?
we'll work on that.
I'll
Thanks
talk
for
to
your
you.
time, thanks for your time.
Pardon? Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for allowing the time for these guys to come in. Thanks for what you all do, guys.
Yeah, you
Appreciate
bet.
it.
We appreciate it.
Russ, now get him to work, okay?
Other than that, I guess we're out hauling gravel, blading some roads, putting in some culverts, just, kind of the usual stuff. They did start on the Strasburg shop yesterday. They're cleaning everything out, boxing it up, putting it on pallets. And the guy supposedly to start the process is supposed to start tomorrow.
Is he tearing the insulation off them walls, or you guys are?
He is. He's gonna come in, tear everything off the walls and then spray foam it.
On the inside and the outside?
No, the inside.
All the inside?
Yep.
What are you doing with the leaking that you had on that roof?
They're
On
gonna
the
put
north side?
some tin up there and repair those spots that where the roofs were. The furnaces have been vented out the side, so we should be alleviating that problem. Yeah.
Okay.
They'll put some new tin and then spray foam from the inside, and supposedly they claim that'll take care of everything on that side of it, so.
Good. You don't have issues, is that a screwed down roof, correct? That metal roof is screwed down?
I don't know.
Might be nailed yet.
Huh? You don't have
Oh,
issues
yeah.
with water coming through and condensation on that foam and rusting the metal from the bottom?
Boy, some of them older buildings are nailed, you know.
I would imagine it's screwed, but I haven't personally.
It probably is screwed
Well,
up.
that's a steel bit, so that's
Right.
screwed down.
Yeah. Oh, it's all steel.
It's all metal building, yes.
Oh, it's an all steel structure, that's screwed. Yeah, you wouldn't drive a nail down there.
And other than that, we're going on the recommendations of the people that are in the business to do it right, so.
They're out of business?
No, Vince Meininger out of Wishick will be doing demolition and the spray foam.
Okay, all right.
And then the tinning part of it, he did have a guy lined up to tin it, and his guy will not be able to meet the schedule. So we're in the process of trying to find somebody local, but being this time of year, it's not looking very good, everyone's pretty booked up, so.
Well, once you get the insulation on, you can work on that.
Right, if we can get it up and insulated, which he's gonna do all that, the rest of it can be worked around as far as the time frame. So.
Work on
But you gotta get the roof and metal done first,
Yeah.
in order for him to spray on that metal.
He's gonna take care of all that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So you got the gravel done?
No, oh, I mean, the crushing part of it, they're actually gonna do some more testing this week. He's down there doing some crushing right now.
Yeah, I
We're
see
gonna
that.
test in a couple more areas where these people have prospects of gravel and try to come up with a plan from there, but we are working on it just
Good, good.
little by little here, so.
Have you used that disc mower yet to cut your ditch?
No,
No, okay.
no. That will start here very shortly here, we're just trying to, everyone's pretty well finished up with blading, for this round here, and hopefully Mother Nature works with us and gives us a little time here, we'll get out, start mowing and doing some other things as well. We got a couple bigger culvert projects that we need to get done yet this year, a few other things like that, so we're trying to get that tar tank up in the air and things like that to take, get that stuff taken care of.
Is that culvert done out there by Ben Walt, is it Benny Walt? Where you replace that big culvert? Yeah, we replaced that big culvert out there that was sinking in the middle of the road.
By Linda Hoff?
Hoff, okay, excuse me.
Yes, it is done.
That's done?
Yes.
You did what?
And that rip wrapping's all done?
Yes,
Okay.
You did 3 culverts there, right?
yes.
Linda's.
Out in the same, in the area,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
That was 3 culverts total.
Okay.
But the one big one is taken care of and rip wrapped and a done deal, yes.
Okay.
Are we sampling the gravel that they're crushing too, or is it just Tyler sampling?
The gravel he's doing right now is his own gravel.
Okay,
He has not done no gravel for us.
okay,
But once that takes place, he will sample it and we will be collecting samples as well.
okay,
And if we decide, we don't have a commitment to go with that 100%, because there's some concerns on the quality of it.
okay,
So if we are not happy, he said we do not have to take it in any form or way, he will just keep it for himself.
okay.
So I will have samples collected to be tested from an outside source as well.
Okay,
Okay.
That's a good deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
well, you just gotta verify that.
Yeah,
And, the only other thing is that I did get a few calls about like windrows while they're trying to mow the shoulders and stuff like that, so just make sure the guys are probably either thinning them way down or putting them away, just.
Yeah, and they have been working with that, and I'll tell you what's going on there is, it's not all the problem, but a big part of it is the weeds.
Oh, yeah,
The weeds got incorporated this year, not because they weren't out there, just that the weeds just grew super fast this year for some reason, so.
Moisture.
A lot of these guys are trying to let the weeds dry down, which these last couple days should definitely help that. And then let them roll it back and forth, and I know it doesn't do anything for the farmer mowing, but it's kind of a tough area to be addressing right now, to be honest.
Everything grew so crazy.
It
I
did.
know I mowed the edges, a couple, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's grown back by the way,
Yeah.
yeah. Now it probably will quit.
What is the deadline date, 15th of October?
Yes.
So that's right around the corner.
Yeah.
and then there's, so right south of my place on that intersection that goes east to Melvin Wools, and
Yep.
so that would be, I think that's 78, I don't know, I just drive it, I don't know the street, but since it's by my house, but, so there's 3 culverts there across the road going, that'd be going across 9th, the main, going to Tenvick.
Okay,
And Skylar replaced the culvert there probably a year ago, now it looks like the one to the north of it is starting to go, cause when I was mowing my ditch shoulders, I drove over it and there's I don't know if it's beside the culvert or on top of it, but that's exactly how the last one looked right there, I'm assuming they all got put in at the same time, so. Some of you wanna just drive and check, maybe it's just something that needs to get filled with gravel, if it was washing, it was beside it, I didn't stop and look, but
okay,
that was like, I think Saturday night or Sunday when I was mowing, then that hole started popping up and it's about yay big, so.
yeah, and we're running it, we must have had 5 to 8 of them this year that either the bands let loose or the tops just caved in, and that's what happened out there by that Hoff place, right in the middle of the road, just dropped out.
See, this one's really close to the shoulder, it's only about 2 feet off, so maybe only a section would have to get replaced, or maybe it's even next to the culvert, cause you know, just stuff washes sometimes, but something to take a look at there. 'Cause
Is that a steel culvert or they cement box?
no, they're like 24-inch, I think there's there's 3 of them, then there's one that goes like diagonal, it's all to manage all that, like creek water in that area, and then, cause there's another culvert that comes off of like McCrory and Klein's land and Melvin's. So there's 3, then there's like another one, it's all meant to get that water to the creek, and so and that one failed that was probably 2 years ago, yeah, Josh has got it right there.
I'm surprised they aren't
So
all
it's
cement.
right at that intersection, right on
Yeah.
the north side of that intersection, there's 3 culverts there. One got done like a year or 2 ago, and now it looks like the middle one is, something's going on there, cause I put a tire in it with the tractor, and then it's about the size of a football, I mean,
That's what they fell in.
it's gonna get worse, whether it's a washout or a culvert hole, it should get checked out. I didn't wanna put a flag on it, cause it's about 2 feet into the road, so if I put a flag, it's just gonna get hit by somebody, so.
Say, Mr. Chairman, the deadline is October 1st.
Yeah, for shoulders, it's the first, I thought, yeah.
Weed cuttings up.
Yeah, I think it's already
Yeah,
passed.
I think
So let it be
Isn't it
known.
the Bales is
Bales
November
are,
15th?
Bales or what?
Yeah, out of the right of way.
Out of
I
when?
thought, it was in the paper.
Is that October?
October 15th.
It's 2 weeks out, you're right, it's October.
Okay.
Yeah. So October 1st, the shoulders have to get mowed,
Yep.
October 15th is
I brought
the
up the second
bales
one.
and like temporary fence, everything's gotta be out of the right of way.
So what do? You go out and scout the roads, run the roads, or the blade operators just let you know
Both.
roads aren't being
Both,
Both, yeah, most of the guys kinda know, you know, what's going on at the blade operators and stuff, but
I know some guys were really upset. They talked to me just personally, that guys had sunflowers 10 feet tall.
I know.
And then they come along and cut them and they dropped on their windrow or on the road, and then they got that wind and they all blew up. It all blew up on the roadbed.
Yeah, how do you
I said, what do you
blame?
do with this?
Yeah, I know, that's.
it, like I said, it's been kind of a tough year on that side of it, between the windrow and the grass growing like it has been and stuff, it's just been a tough year, hopefully we can get through it here.
Well, and it has been tough, cause some of the ditches that I hate in July and August,
Yeah, they're all.
I mean,
bad.
they're mowed and they're probably not breaking the rules, but they're about, I mean, they grew again, you know, like, I trimmed them again, but I mean, it was one of the deals where it's not as bad as the ones that haven't been touched all year, but there's a few of them out there that are gonna be in this weird gray area where they've been mowed and hayed, but even now, we got a good shot of rain, if it stays warm for 2-3 weeks, the stuff I mowed is gonna have to get mowed.
It's coming
again,
back,
so-
it'll be clipped again.
Right, but I mean, people do have to remember that it's for the maintenance of the roads, like, I mean, it's for their own good, like, if you don't mow your ditches, you're gonna struggle in the winter, so
You'll pay for
it's
it.
not just the county out there trying to make a weird rule, I mean, I mow my shoulders for a reason, I don't want any issues.
I agree.
I'm gonna hit them again if I have to, I'll mow them till December if we don't have any snow, I'll do it, but.
So let it be heard to the public.
Well,
that
it's just,
listen to
no,
the
you're not
video.
just, well, you're not just clipping weeds to comply with law, you're creating issues for your neighbors and those around you if you don't have that road ditch cleaned, that's right, and it plugs culverts and it gets in the gravel and all of it, so.
Russ, couple
They get
things,
your ditches cut.
couple things, Russ, did, that culvert, you know, over by Banner Walls, that one,
Yep,
that's all flagged, that's creeping, you know, that hole. Maybe you guys should, I don't know, what would you gotta replace the culvert, you think, or just fill that in, or?
it looks more than likely we'll have to replace it, from what I seen there when I was down there and looked at it, and we are aware of these culverts. We're not gonna get them all this year, I mean, I don't wanna sound negative, but.
So then a guy should maybe just fill it in a little bit, huh?
And we can, we're trying.
Probably that would be a good idea, you know,
Yeah.
you just fill her in and pack it in good. or-
Cause we've got, I mean, we're in the hundreds in the culverts that have to be replaced throughout the county, you know, there's a lot of them.
So you'll never get that one down, that big Smith one by Marianne Hall either, probably.
And that's been on the list since this spring, but it seems like every time you get close, you gotta go back the other direction for some emergency.
Maybe a guy, you know, that's kinda, works on the edge of the road, maybe a guy could kinda try to stabilize that edge there a little bit, somebody that.
We can, we've got, there's one out there by Joey Culver that's got the same scenario with the embankment thing caving in. and there's one down here as well, and we've got one out here by, below right north of Ronnie Bush's, that bridge, the walls are pushing out.
That's hard to do, but maybe you could buy some time.
Yeah, we're gonna try here, like I said, with everyone, if Mother Nature helps us where the blades don't have to go out again here for a little bit, we're gonna try to get everybody working on these projects and get some of this stuff knocked down if we can here.
That one by Culver Joey, I think it's to the, is it to the west, it's to the east of him, I believe.
East
Where
to
you
the
go
north.
down, where just east of him, and that, I mean, it is so damn steep.
It's
There's a
not,
culvert, there's
Yeah.
no posts or nothing, I mean, it is steep.
Yeah.
Cut of that ditch and that culvert.
it's not even that one, it'd be to the east
East
and north.
and north, around that
That
curve.
little box culvert there, yeah, but that one is dangerous, yes, it is, it's a dangerous spot.
There's a lot of them dangerous
Yeah,
spots. in the
well, all
county.
you can do is what you can do.
So, yeah,
Look at it.
that's
It's a
all
big
I
area.
got.
It's a lot of miles of
It
problems.
is,
That one straight north of Hazelton is a nasty one. I think you go straight north up there by, I think it's north of Bauer. It curves like that. Man,
Oh, you mean Dead Man's Curve?
that is an ugly, ugly curve.
You don't get a nickname Dead Man's Curve.
Oh,
nothing,
I remember in high school, that was a good little racing spot. Yeah, no,
Oh,
Dead
yeah,
Man's
that's
Curve
a
is,
nasty-
as an adult, when you start paying insurance and things, it's
Oh,
just terrifying. When you're a kid, you don't understand nothing. It's a good place, yeah.
That's an ugly one when I.
You don't nickname
Almost
something that
as
unless
bad
it's,
curve.
it's dangerous, it's highly dangerous.
Well, yeah,
but that's
So
all
what
I
else you got,
guess.
Russ?
That's it for now.
That's it?
Yeah.
well.
You got a tractor for mowing, right? You
Yes,
leased a tractor?
yes, we did, we leased a
This
tractor.
morning? Okay.
We have a mower, so everything's ready to go, just kinda waiting to get a guy freed up to get in there and get going, I guess, so.
I guess,
Sounds good.
I got one other thing, and that is, have you done anything, addressed anything, checked out the access road to Beaver Bay? But that's kinda sloughing into the river.
Yes, I
Is
do
it
have.
getting worse, or I guess it's more of an
It
update?
is, it's
It
slowly-
looks like it is, but.
Sloughing down, and, I need to reach out to Pat Fiat, I believe his name is, from.
Yep. From the court?
Peter down there.
Yep.
His recommendation on it was, there's like a cut and fill policy, so if we bring fill in, we have to take that much fill back out, so that it doesn't alter the river capacity, or lake capacity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you sure don't wanna do that, right?
Right, so his
Yeah.
recommendation is to go around and bring the material back up to the spot. And I think that's what we're gonna end up doing more than likely.
Can you do that with a dozer?
Yeah.
It's not too steep?
No, we can get it done, it's just a matter of, again, it's a short-term fix, because there must be a spring or something in that area causing us to do this every so many years is what I can come up with, but we will get it taken care of here, again, we're just trying to get a few guys freed
You're
up.
looking into it at least, and
Yes.
developing a plan?
You know, I talked with John the other day up out of Bismarck there and stuff, and yeah, we're trying to come up with the solution, but it's looking like we're just gonna take the material that's already there and put it back up there is what we're all kinda coming together with, so.
Sounds good.
Alright,
Thanks,
Thanks, Rob.
thanks,
okay, see you guys.
Yep.
You wanna go to John? I'm probably sure he was here today at 11.
These two
Yeah.
are on the agenda.
Okay.
This one, he just did this morning.
Did
It's
this
not on
morning?
it's not on the agenda, but you
Okay.
should approve it.
We should
Russ
go
went out and
with
looked at
Jack.
it. Yeah, Russ went and looked at it and he approved it, so,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Yeah, why don't we, whatchamacallit, go to John Martin? You're
Yeah, we
here
can
till
probably put them in the
11:15.
miscellaneous,
Huh?
or so, we can put them in the miscellaneous,
Yeah.
there's utility permits.
Yep,
right? Yeah.
yep.
Keep John going.
Yep.
Good morning.
Morning, John.
So I'm sure, I don't know if Marlis gave you this agreement that we sent out?
You should all have
Yep,
one.
we have it.
Kyle.
I don't know if it's clear how much you want me to go into it.
So is that?
This is in regard, John is here with Wolf Engineering, it's with the Strasburg Bridge Project Order Agreement.
We talked about this at the flex funding meeting, right?
Yep.
This is that,
This is just kind of some of the final paperwork. kind of just overview it. The bridge is complete, we did a final inspection, it was approved and all that. But during.
Put the mic up closer.
Oh, sorry. During construction, it was discovered that the bridge, due to a surveying issue, was 18 inches higher than planned. So in order to meet that new elevation, we had to add additional dirt, rather than rip out the bridge and redo it. Keeping it at that elevation kind of benefited the county too. It passes a higher runoff event. So we have this additional dirt to build up the road to meet this bridge. Obviously, the state was not gonna pay for that. And since the county wasn't out there, they have nothing to do with it, we are gonna reimburse the county for that expense, which is included in this agreement.
And the only reason I didn't sign it, because I think when you were in here initially, it was gonna be like an $80-some thousand additional cost, right?
Yep, exactly.
And then when I read this, it was like 70-some.
Yep, so this is based off of final quantities.
Okay.
You measure the dirt.
So it's less than what you anticipate? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was only an estimate at the time.
okay. And that's why I was reluctant to sign it. I took it to Joe and he said, I'd wait to sign it and let you represent it.
This should be final, so.
Okay.
And if you haven't got a bill for this from the county or from the state yet, it should be coming soon.
Okay.
So.
Well, that'd be right.
Do we need to? So we should be safe signing this, that there won't be nothing coming back to the county, any additional cost whatsoever.
There should be. Initially, this should have been 100% funded by federal aid. There's always that chance there could be some cost to the county, depending on which federal aid source they use. But it should be 100%. So then this was part of change order 1, which the state was not going to pay for. So we are going to reimburse the county for it.
So the state's gonna send us a bill.
Yep.
We're gonna pay it because we're the recipients of the bridge.
Yep.
And you're reimbursing us for that overage.
Exactly.
Because you're taking responsibility for it.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve this agreement.
Okay, Mr. Gardner makes a motion to approve. Seconded by Gardner. Any Miller? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, John. Sorry for having you come down, but I just had to get clarity on that.
Flex funding stuff, that's November timeframe-ish, December results?
There's no guarantee. Yeah, possibly December maybe. I guess
Just curious.
Yeah.
You're gonna be sitting in at the end of October at the Association of Counties with for the,
Yep. I forget which day you guys are signed up
I
for.
thought it was the 28th,
It's Tuesday.
which would have been the Tuesday at like
Yeah,
9
Monday.
AM, I think, or 9 or 10, I can't remember.
I can't remember what time though.
Is it on the 20th?
It's the same day as that other meeting that I have on,
That
that's
you
how,
have.
yeah, so I'll be up there for it, cause
So,
I gotta be
you'll
up
all
there.
have to be ready.
No, it's if you can attend, it's good, it's about a 10-minute meeting, so it doesn't feel like it's worth it, but it's educational at least to go once, cause what it is, it's a meeting with the state where they start to allocate mostly your federal aid funding and, through local government, they know what funding you got and if you're gonna do any plans for expansion projects, and then, Wold always joins us and kinda helps out, kinda carries the weight as far as projects we're gonna do and numbers and stuff, but it's
Sure.
good to just kinda know how that stuff is done, and then, same flex funding, any other state funding, they'll usually bring to the table if you qualify for a project, or they'll just kinda give you an update on where it's at, if you were awarded, or if it's still in the process, so it's a pretty quick, painless meeting, but it's good to go to if you've never done one, so.
No, we'll see.
And Marla's, I wanna say it's October 28th at like 9 AM, but I could be wrong on the time.
Okay.
Where's it at?
It'll be at the.
Event center.
At the event center, yep.
Okay.
So, it's usually in the,
Kind
if
of
you
that.
come in the main entrance, then it's like in the side rooms there, or whatever, it's in the smaller room, like right by the stairs to go up to the second level, that's.
It was the hallway from kind of the civic center to the event center.
Right, you're in that, and then
That
where like
weird
the
area.
stairs are to go up to the upper level, then there's like side rooms there, and it's just in the small little.
What time is it, John?
Nine.
I think
9?
9, yeah, I'd have to look for sure.
8:30, that's the DOT, then, the NDDOT meetings with the NDACO
Right.
conference, it's at October 28th at 8:38.
Okay.
8:30 AM.
Good, I would've been late, so it's good.
That's for Emmons County? That's for each of the counties, and Emmons is at,
That's just what I got from Marlis.
Okay.
Emmons is scheduled for their DOT meeting
Yep.
on October 28th at 8:38.
okay, perfect.
Yeah, 8:30.
You don't have to register, well, he already signed you guys up
Okay, okay.
with the DOT.
Yep,
Thanks for the other invite too.
Yeah,
yep, yeah, hopefully you all can make it, so,
yeah, that's right,
That's good deal.
yep.
That was our last night.
oh yeah, it should be even better this year, hopefully, so.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a million, John.
See you, John.
Thanks, John.
Ooh, 11:30 here. Memorandum of understanding between the North Dakota Secretary of State's office and Emmons County.
You probably do we have somebody,
I think
Is
I
somebody
sent
gonna be here
that.
representing us or not?
So basically, we have this agreement with the Secretary of State's office about the voting machines, that we're gonna take care of the voting machines, and they're gonna, then we're gonna provide the same
machines,
place
yep,
for it and everything. That's basically, it's just an agreement that we have to sign.
Move to approve. The memorandum.
Yeah, memorandum of understanding.
I read it when you sent it out to me, I think
We just need to have you guys.
You need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Martin makes a motion to approve it. Is there a second?
also,
Jim Vanderwerf seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item I, cooperating agency response form to Bureau of Land Management. This must be this one here.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
What's that all about?
We don't have any land, do
You should have this one here. You've got it right there in front of you, Jim's got it.
Yeah.
Joe, I sent that to you too. Do you think you know what that's about?
No, I read it, but, I didn't really, not familiar with the program, so.
we? We don't have any land in that, do we? In our county?
BLM land in the county? Boy, I would, Josh, you're a
I
GIS guy.
don't think so, I'll look it up.
'Cause it's not core land, like it's not
No.
the same thing, no.
I think there is some
Yeah, but I don't think
BLM up by New John's, isn't there, don't they have?
Oh, yeah, up there. There's
Well, I don't
BLM
know.
out west.
I'm just saying, I don't, that's the only place, the closest place I think there is that I know
Yeah, I think that-
of. Is, yeah, I don't think they have any in the county. Apparently, they think that everybody should sign it anyway.
I guess I'm just wondering why we have to have an agreement to cooperate with the BLM if they need something. Like, I mean, wouldn't you just kind of be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll work with you, like, most of the time some of these agreements come with strings, I don't even,
Yeah,
I don't know what it would mean.
I don't
Like,
know, if we don't have any, why sign it?
You're right.
I guess
You
it's
know,
a
you
mark.
could mark the last X, the last box, you know, just thank you for your correspondence.
Thank you for your correspondence, our agent has no further interest in the RMP revision
Oh,
and
yeah.
request to remove us from your mailing.
That's probably the route we should go.
Do we have a response to this before?
Not that I'm
You
aware of.
know, you, how did you remember that?
The only thing I would think we'd have anything to do with the BLM would have to be something to do with the river. You know, as far as like, if there's some contingent where they're working with the Corps of Engineers, I don't understand what it would be, like it, I would say before you'd sign anything, I would say,
That Joe wasn't there or what?
well, or mainly just be, request some more information or something, I don't, that, or I guess if you say no, they're probably gonna seek you out and wanna know why, so maybe that would be a good.
Well,
thing to do.
and you can check the second box, which says the information that you have provided is sufficient. We do not desire to become a cooperator at this time. We do, however, request that our address be added to the project mailing list to receive notification of public meetings and availability of draft documents for public review and comment. Maybe that's the way the route to go.
Yeah.
In case there is something that they're tied in with the Corps at the river.
I mean, any one of these answers, other than probably participating, makes sense, just that I don't really understand what it would be, so I wouldn't support joining it, I guess, just because I don't. I mean, if you'd like any other information, you can contact this Christine Brown, but I just don't. Yeah, I would agree with, I would make a motion to check box 2, which is that we basically don't wanna become a cooperator, but we could still be privy to some of the information. If we wanna join later, we could.
Yeah.
So I would make the motion to check box 2.
Box 2, the United States Department of the Interior, on the BLM letter that was sent us.
I would second that motion.
Is there a second to it, Doug? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
My assumption would be they sent it to every county, and
Probably,
some
I would
counties
say.
need it, and other counties don't really do, or I don't know.
So who needs to sign? You need to sign this one?
I'll just have it here for you to sign with all this other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it really doesn't say for sure.
Great. Okay. Next one is cooperating agency response
That's what-
to Bureau of Land.
That's what we just did. That's what we just did, yeah.
Next is Christine.
Where's Christine?
We're ahead of schedule here.
She's at 45.
Why don't we
Oh, we
do
can
some
do a
of
bunch of the
some
other
of these
stuff.
permits?
Yeah.
Or we can, okay, I want this to stay here.
I'm looking
I
at
don't
it.
remember that coming.
I'm looking at an old agenda here.
I'm gonna use these three that you first handed me.
I like my agenda that I got more than I like. For sure.
Okay, let's see, is it on the agenda?
Dang it.
Those are on the first page,
On the first page.
on your list, except for Jack.
Oh, these here?
Jack is a new one.
Jack's a new guy. Okay, the first one is under F. Okay, utility permit for South Central Regional Water to install a 1-inch water line crossing on 18th Avenue Southeast from southwest quarter of section 30 to the southeast quarter of section 25, township 129, range 75.
What are you looking at?
On these,
Under
the permit that we
utility
just
permits.
submitted.
It's on
tomorrow,
the front page,
Maybe you don't
Utility
have it. Do you
permits
have it?
that.
I don't have that.
You don't have this one then?
Is that a
It's
utility
on the
permit?
front page.
Yeah, the one under.
Oh, I
Right
don't-
underneath
I don't look
Russ
at
Fowler.
We don't ever pull those up. Russ goes and looks at them and
He takes care of it, done deal.
yeah.
Okay.
The question, the one that he handed you.
The one is Jack Doctor.
Okay.
Okay, Jack Doctor wants to bore a water line under Main Avenue, 150 feet north of the mailbox.
that's the one.
What's going on? Bore water line under Main Avenue, 150 feet north of mailbox.
That
His
one's not
address
on
is-
the agenda,
Huh?
Jim, he brought that in just today,
You
Jim.
just brought it in?
Oh,
Yes.
so you
Russ
just
just
brought that in.
Yeah.
And Russ,
you wanna
and
approve
Russ,
today or-
Russ verified it.
Yeah.
Let's
He
confirm
gave,
it,
he
so
gave
it's
it to
good.
her.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All three of those are approved.
Done and good behind us.
So all we need is
Let's
a
go to the-
motion to approve these, you just
Yeah.
approve it.
Do we need a motion? Okay, is there a motion to approve the three items?
There's a motion to approve the three items.
Okay, Mr. Gart, or Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second,
By Mr. Vanderhorst.
So that Russ signed off on all three of
He
those?
signed off on all
Yes.
three of them.
Okay.
Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, these are done. And Jack is done. Okay, go to the back. Next page. Okay. Number one is miscellaneous. Oh, wait, yeah, okay. Number one, miscellaneous, building permit for T-Mobile Crown Castle to remove existing batteries in secure ground cabinet and replace with new batteries on FCL southeast quarter less 2.8 acres to the NB pipeline, section 4, township 132, range 78. I'm gonna put these right here.
All they're doing is swapping batteries, it looks like, huh?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve building permit for
For
T-Mobile.
item one, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a second to the motion?
Yeah.
Miller? All in favor?
aye,
Opposed? Motion carried. Item two, building permit for Craig Miller to move in a 40 by 20 wooden granary on the northeast quarter, west right of way, section 30, township 134, range 76.
I'll keep quiet on that.
Okay,
motion to approve.
Wait, gonna,
Is everything
oh,
okay?
there's concerns all over with this one. No, it's fine.
I was gonna say it's in the middle of Craig's
It's
yard.
in the middle of
it's
his
not
yard,
close to
so.
anything.
Too close to the highway denied.
Yeah,
She'd have another
it's
back
farther
step.
away than his house, but yeah,
I'll second.
I'll second. Who made the motion?
I did.
Vanderhorst, seconded by Mick Gardner.
Sitting in the middle
All
of
in
the
favor?
I,
Opposed, motion carried. You're lucky.
All the luck.
Item 3, building permit for Carter Vanderwall to erect an 860 by 890 shop on the southwest quarter of section 2, township 129, range 78.
Yeah, same thing, he's in the middle of his yard here, he moved a hoop barn and he's gonna replace it with a shop, so.
Okay.
It's in the middle of the.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Gardner,
Second.
by Vanderhorst. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item 4, building permit for Kim Lees to add a 42 by 20 lean-to along the west side of the east of the existing pole building on lot 21 and .61 acres tract and .90 acre tract of lot 20, Beaver Bay Division, section 23, township 132, range 79.
Okay, he's got two in here, I think you're looking at this one. Cause he has shops on both these lots, and he's doing a lean-to onto them, so setback's good here. He's over 100 feet away, he's just adding it on to this.
Yeah.
All good?
Out of Beaver Bay. But he's
Are
got a
they,
big,
are they
he's got a
both
big
good
lot.
for the lease?
Yep, and then he's got another one that he owns down by Jennerville. And I went out there because initially I thought it was too close to the core line, but I saw the core markers and he's 50 feet from the back, so he's good on both,
Alright.
so.
I just gotta say, we really appreciate you doing this, Josh.
Oh,
We don't have this with the
yeah.
city for building permits, and let me tell you what, it's a show and it's a discussion, and thank you.
Yeah.
I realize you travel a lot to check these out, we appreciate it.
Yep.
With that said, I'll make a
Is
motion
there a
to
motion, Mr.
approve,
Gardner?
both the building permits for Kim Lee's.
Should I read the other one off also? I probably should just, building permit for Kim Lee to add a 40 by 12 lean-to on tract of lot 4, section 33, township 132, range 79. They're both in compliance, correct? Okay. Motion by Gardner,
second.
by Mayor, excuse me, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Building permit for, item 6, building permit for Gregory Metzger to erect a shed and deck on lot 4, Burgett Views, township, or section 23, township 132, range 79.
Alright, it's that Beaver Bay on top of the hill. I went up there, cause he doesn't have much space to work with, but we got it measured. So he's gonna be over 40 from the edge of the road. He's doing a, kind of a deck that overlooks the hill here. He's gonna park his camper by it, put a little shed, but his setbacks will be good.
All goes, everything's good,
Yep.
okay. Is there a motion to?
Motion.
Item 6,
Motion, Dan.
Mr. Vanderhorst, second. By Miller, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item 7, building permit for Myron Huber to move in a 26 by 76 manufactured home and build a 40 by 45 garage on the north 78 feet of lot 7, Meyer subdivision, section 32, township 129, range 78.
There it is.
Down by the state line,
Is
there's
that where it's
10
at?
cabins.
So, yeah, he built it.
Oh, I've seen that now that you said, yeah.
He built it and thought he had a permit because the guy that handled the septic and I think the garage told him he got the permits. But what he did is he got the Western Plains permit to put a septic because it's like a 0.3 acre, another small lot. So he essentially thought that was a building permit, but, so he paid the, double the fee for the permit fee because he already started. I told him because of the setbacks, it might not have been approved, but it's pretty close to that road. It's about 18 feet. And it was platted as, dedicated as a public street too when they platted that, so.
Where is this at?
Down by state line.
State Line Resort?
Bonnie Vanderloon lives out there.
It's on the east end of it, right? It's on the east side of this development.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah,
It's on the south side of the road.
yeah, it's
Oh,
There's the
okay, it's
resort.
yep, it's on the
So-
south side of the highway there.
Yep,
Okay.
yep,
He
yep.
built it right here.
Probably not.
So he's tight.
He's tight, but we don't go in there and clean anything, they clean it themselves when they, snow removal and everything else, we don't,
We don't touch it.
no.
Not a high, I mean, there's not a
A lot
lot.
of high
There's
traffic now, but.
10
you know what
houses
it's
out
like
there, I
with it.
think, or 9, and
Yeah, you sure don't wanna make them move it.
one resident that lives there year round, sometimes two, pretty much, right?
I guess you
Yeah.
could if you, that would be, yeah. That wouldn't be good at all.
No, you probably wouldn't wanna run into it in town.
No. Well, I don't know, I'd make a motion to approve it.
Jim Vanderhorst makes a motion to approve it. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 9. Eight, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. 8, building permit for new singular wireless PCS, comma LLC to remove 6 antennas, install 9 new antennas, remove 6 RRH radios, install 9 new RRH radios, remove 3 TMA, remove 6 duplexers, remove all coax lines, update power fiber cables, and surge protectors on FCL S southeast quarter, less 2.6 acres, to NB pipeline, section 4, township 132, range 76.
Can you read that again? I missed most
Wow,
of
should I
that.
read that again?
No, that's a long one.
What?
You know,
My
it's
tongue
the
was
exact
flopping,
same
huh?
tower as item number 1.
Is it?
But it's a separate company, one's doing the batteries changes and the other one's doing the antenna
Oh.
changes.
Is this
Basically,
just
them antennas are a giant structure, and there's several companies that are utilizing it
Yeah.
for cell phones, internet, all that stuff, so.
Do they just get replaced every so many years just because of wear and tear? Or, I mean, there's a
Well,
ton of them.
technological upgrades, I'm sure, the whole nine, yeah,
I
I'm sure,
suppose.
just every few years,
Yeah.
this stuff changes.
Technology keeps.
Can't imagine that doesn't take a beating up on them antennas.
Yeah, I suppose
You know, I
the
mean,
wind and
after 4 or
everything
5
else.
years, this stuff's probably not working. so.
I will make a motion to approve this if Commissioner Materi will read it again.
Okay, let me start again before your motion. Is there a second to it?
I'll make a motion to deny it just so he doesn't, how bad is this? Stop it.
Yeah, you know that.
Smart guy, yeah. So there's a motion and there's a second.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 9. Plat of lot 1 of the QCD Life Estate in the southeast corner of section 33, township 135, range 75.
Yeah, this is the one where they're gonna deed the house to,
This was a couple months ago.
yeah,
right?
they made
Last
it bigger, I think they had half acre before. I think they submitted right before I went on leave
Yeah.
that one time, so they made that, it is an acre now.
Seville farm, right? This is the Seville farm, right? That came up like a month or two
Yeah.
ago with the,
Yeah.
families parceling out the house from the rest of the land.
That's right.
Then they didn't quite do it right or something, right?
Yeah.
It was too small for septic or something.
Yeah, or
like that,
something, okay,
right?
that's right, yeah, they made it bigger,
Even though they had it, I think they thought that since it was already there, they could do a half acre, but, so it's over an acre now, just slightly over an acre,
I
so.
remember that.
Yep, that was there like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
I'll make,
So everything's par.
Yep.
Mayor,
I'll make a
makes
motion to approve.
I'll
Josh
second.
says everything's fine.
Okay, is there a second, Miller? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Looks like they made it a square foot bigger than an acre, just to make sure, huh?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Item 10, tax abatement for parcel number 28-0000-03839-010 for tax year 2025.
That's out by the rifle range, they weren't supposed to be taxed, and Christina found it and she said, you need to do tax abatement, because her taxes, because it's a blind spot or something.
Oh, okay. Motion to approve.
Gardner makes a motion to approve, is there a second? Second. By Miller. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 11, building permit for Doug Coyle to build a 26 by 36 garage on lot 4, Coyote Hills subdivision, section 23, township 132, range 79.
Yeah, another Beaver Bay one. I went out there because he wanted to put one again, right up against the road. But we found another spot on top of the hill. We wanted to put it here, but that would have been too close. So I helped him measure and we got it where he can fit with the 40-foot setback and 15 from the side. He might have to go a little shorter than 36, but he's gotta remove a shed here, but it'll be good.
Quick question, Josh. Do we follow up on these after they're built to make sure that they actually followed it, or they say they're gonna do this and then we approve it and then nobody goes to check it out? And I'm just asking, cause
Yeah, once they're built, I don't go back out and remeasure, but Chris goes out and measures the building to make sure they built to what they
To the
put
specs
on
like
permit,
they
you know. as far
I mean,
as setbacks.
I don't know what good it would do other than,
If
I
it's
mean, we're not
there,
gonna make
no.
somebody rip a garage down or a house down, but I just was kinda curious about that, cause we do put a lot of trust in people when we ask them to change a few things and restake it out and change the size of their
Because,
garage
you know,
or their
essentially,
house. And
when they sign the building permit, they're responsible for following.
That's the
So-
legal, I mean, there's a legality when they sign a
Yeah, I
building.
was just gonna say, is
Say
there
they're
any,
gonna do that.
any verbiage if
Joe,
they
is there
don't comply
legal
with what God's
repercussion? I mean,
saying?
if they say they're gonna build it this
I don't
way
think
and they
there is
sign the
in our-
building permit, we approve it.
I don't think there
and they
is,
didn't.
what you guys
That is a legal document.
Oh, yeah, if they violate the building permit, we could definitely make them tear it down.
And I'm not saying that we have a bunch of people out
You
there doing
could,
that, I
right?
just
Yes,
kinda.
I think people are aware of that.
Okay, I just wanted to
Do
question
you
that
stress it
because,
like when, you know, we should stress that, yeah.
Yeah, and I essentially tell people, I'm there to find the clear and obvious that you're gonna be outside that setback, but it's your responsibility when you sign that building permit, that you're gonna follow it.
and this has nothing to do with Doug Coyle, I'm just questioning, we're
Right.
moving a lot of stuff around here, we did one earlier and
Yeah.
and I'm just curious if we follow up.
And you
on
can
it.
tell when I go out there who
Yeah.
may or may not try and squeeze in a few feet, but
You know,
he's
you drive
gonna
out.
make it work.
Okay.
You get a feel of it, who's,
Yeah,
yeah.
cause they'll be lined up with the other buildings and where they're lined up too at that 40 feet, so.
Alright,
Okay,
yeah, I'm good.
okay. Item 11 is done, correct?
Nope.
Is there a motion for item 11 for Mr. Coyle? What are you guys' feelings?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Gardner makes a motion to
I'll
accept
second
it. Second by Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 12, building permit for Sid Lawler to erect a 42-foot diameter grain bin on the southwest quarter of section 1, township 132, range 79.
Well, it looks
That's
like
on
he
the
had
same location.
storage building too, so it must have been from the tornado.
Yeah,
He had some bad luck, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's gonna,
told me
it was
about
this
that.
one, and he's gonna
I never knew that.
put it here, and then a grain bin,
He's gonna replace that grain bin.
that one, and then, yeah, this shop will go
Here.
build right here, he's removing trees here.
Everything's good, that's
Yeah,
a
he's-
private
He's
drive.
way in
Way
and
off the
everything,
road.
right? Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve both permits for the grain bin and for the storage.
For the building?
Yep.
Okay, okay.
I'll
Is
second.
there a second? Gardner, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried in item 12 and 13.
I gotta use the restroom.
You're excused. Is there a motion to that?
Deny. Lunch break's coming at a half
Can
hour.
you imagine if I put that in
Yeah.
there?
Oh, yeah, it was denied.
That's already being recorded, it's bad enough.
Hey, they do it to second grader.
Oh, yeah.
Am I out of time for you now?
Bye, Christina. Give us a minute, there's one board member that's out. Good morning. Okay, there's one board member that is excused for.
I'll let you do that.
One question, just to kind of, so, like earlier when we valued those county properties, and you come up with like the recommended sale price, did you have any access to any of those for assessing or anything like that? Like, did you get into any of them, or?
I didn't look at any of them this year,
Okay. But they have been.
just drive-bys.
Okay. So that recommended price came from you more so from your assessment though, or as much as you can assess?
Number, letter J.
Based on sales and the little
Really
signage
no
to the outside.
I gave you guys all that letter too from the Public Service Commission.
Yep.
That on November 20th at 9 o'clock in the courthouse auditorium is gonna be the PSC hearing for that battery storage project.
Okay. Okay, it's all yours, Chris.
Okay, a couple of months ago, we had talked about playing around with the idea of deciding to value, well, how we were gonna charge for assessing properties, I guess, basically. So this is just an updated list of how some other counties are currently doing it, to give you an idea what we wanna do, or what we just wanna stay with what we've got going on. So, that's all that is. Any questions on that spreadsheet?
No one besides this, okay, I got that. This guy,
Do you have Christine, do you have any recommendations, or this is just you put it all together just to show us, or what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are we definitely need to increase, right now we charge $1 a parcel. So,
And what would be your suggestion?
I would say probably $3 a parcel plus mileage for the equalization meeting. And if they wanna come to the courthouse, then there would of course be no charge for mileage. Many of the counties do all of the meetings in one day at the courthouse.
Sounds
any
reasonable.
other input by anybody?
Sounds reasonable, yeah. $1 is pretty.
You just talking the standard mileage rate that we,
Yeah,
what are we at?
I think we're at 70 cents.
72 cents or 6?
We match the federal?
We follow the Fed rate,
Federal?
which is
Okay.
70 cents. a mile.
70?
Price that doesn't come down, gas is cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the price of vehicles and everything else is higher, so I mean, it's
I suppose.
a wash either way when you think about it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And you're saying 3 straight across, they
I
can
think so.
improved ag.
Yeah, I think so. But if you want to do more for, residential and commercial, because there's more time and effort for those kind of things, you could do that.
And it should be, shouldn't it? For the
It
commercial side?
mostly is already in the cities, so, cause we don't charge ourselves for a parcel, and those are mostly county that are the acreage parcels, so. So it already is mostly city and commercial, so I don't know if you need to differentiate. Seems like a lot of extra work for not a lot of
Reward back.
difference.
Yeah, we're basically just, you're figuring a $3 a parcel in mileage, we're covering our expenses,
Mhm.
which I think is fair.
Yeah, and with the increase, it'll hopefully help with some of the increase that we're gonna have to do for software upgrades and additional, workstation for that, with the additional House Bill 1176 issues that we talked about before. Trying to recoup some of that additional cost with the postage too.
So are we out of line like Cavaliers at 5 and 8?
I believe we're definitely
Way under.
way too low. Yeah, the number has not been adjusted from what I could tell for at least the last 10 years. I don't
So
have-
all the revenue that's been lost.
Yeah.
Do we need to make a motion if we wanna bring this? I mean, I think three
It's not
seems
really
fair.
3 is a fair amount.
Well, we can start at that and we can always move it around if that doesn't seem to be, I mean, right now, we're taking it the shortest of the buck.
Why not lock that?
I mean, we're not doing it as a revenue maker, we're doing it just trying to recoup some of our costs.
Yeah, yeah.
And you think 3 will cover costs?
I don't think 3 will cover our costs, no, I think that would be a minimum.
So we should go to possibly 5.
But the mileage will cover some costs, you're taking a county vehicle, are you not?
Yeah, but I'm only proposing we do mileage to the equalization meetings, I don't know if you would wanna start tracking mileage for doing appraisals, that might get a little
Well, you could go to 4.
too much time consuming trying to track.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know, I mean,
We're
honestly.
increasing it by 300%.
But I just look at some of these other counties.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. Some are $1.75, but $3 would sure be,
The bacon and egg, if they're cheaper there, they're making it up and they're improved. It looks like most of them.
yeah, there's some,
Or there's some that just do a lump sum, you know,
yeah.
depending on the taxable value of the town.
Well, I would make a motion to take your recommendation of $3 per parcel and mileage for the equalization meetings. And we'll see how that goes, and we can always go from there.
Yeah, see if we need to adjust for next year, we'll have a better idea too.
Right.
Cause we don't really know what our costs are gonna look like with this new House bill issue that we've got.
Where's Megan
Maybe stepped out for a second.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait till make the motions and just, yeah, she's part of the vote. Everything else is good. Everything else is good up there in the office. As good as can be.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do.
Is it?
We have to, with the new, state requirement, we have to value all the exempt properties for their study, state study that they wanna do, so it's a lot of work to figure that out.
Aaron, I made a motion to, on Christina's recommendation to raise our fee from $1 to $3 per parcel and mileage for the equalization meeting.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we'll cover it.
I just made a motion, that's.
that,
that's
dollar
where we're
a
at.
parcel's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'll second.
Yeah, second by Mr. Van Horst. Vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. 3.
Okay, next thing up is soil modifiers. Senate Bill 2367 states that we now have to have a list of soil modifiers to attach with our ag land values. It does not say how big of a list we need, so I've worked on a list of 1. Because we already use the soil indexing, I think that's a really good value to work with. So the one that I came up with was, I worked with Dan from Dickey County because this is what he does. Old water. And what I would need in old water is a minimum of 10 acres of land that's covered by water for at least 10 years and not on pasture land. That's my recommendation, it's just 1 modifier. Cause I really think the soil indexing covers so much of what a modifier could cover.
No sense making it more complicated, right? Yeah.
So like rock and some of those other things, those always were kind of a modifier, weren't they?
They can be a modifier, yeah, some counties use them, but most of the counties that use those are the ones that don't use the soil indexing.
Because of whatever.
Well, there were other, like, water was always a big one, like inundated acres and things like that, but then there was also things like, there was specifications for like rocky terrain, things like that, where you could reduce the value of the land, but I mean, that's probably back when they only had a dozen soil indexes, where now they have what? I mean, there's.
Yeah, 257.
So it probably covers it, is the point, that you don't need the modifiers, because they've totally, like, they've added so many different soil types now that they've probably narrowed the scope, where before, when you only had a handful, then you had the modifiers that, you know what I mean, like the inundated acres, rocky ground, there were several modifiers, we probably don't need it, because rocky ground might actually literally be a soil type now, so.
It's a soil type.
Well, that's
And
where
it's some of your higher tax grounds.
Yeah, I know.
Because of the soil.
I sort of down
Yeah.
for tick in regard to the rock.
So,
I've got that.
but that's why they don't have as many modifiers, right, because they literally have so many soils.
So you as a county can deem whatever you want for a modifier,
Okay.
whatever you think.
It would get cut
This
off.
is just my recommendation, is I would only have one, because
Soil.
I think the soil modifiers do a great job on.
Right, as complicated as they made it, there's no point adding a lot of modifiers, so.
Okay.
So, whatever you guys decide you wanna do as far as that goes, and then who will, go out and determine that this modifier is out there and full approval. Will it be me, or will it be you guys approving, if someone comes in and requests a modifier?
That's how we did inundated acres before, like when Sarah was here. I would look up the history of that water on Google Maps and just see, yes, that's been flooded, inundated for several years. And then I draw it, measure it out to get the acreage. We could do that, because I don't see us going out to verify. We could look at Google Images.
Yeah, that would be
Verify for
very
how long
nice.
it's been wet.
Yeah, we would
Well,
look at that.
you know,
So how much of a reduction is there on that?
It would be what you would deem, we already have the inundated acres that we utilize.
Yeah, that's fairly valuable, that 17 or 25,
I think it was 25.
25.
25?
But typically you don't get that much of a discount, because the soil that's there is usually a poorly drained soil, and that's already taken into account, you know. So it still helps a bit, but usually people come in and they think they're getting this huge discount, but it's usually not, because it's usually a lower PI soil there anyways.
Well, sounds like that will work, Josh.
Yeah, if she needs to have at least one, that would be the one to go with, I guess.
Yeah, so we just have to determine how we would wanna identify that. I think I outlined it pretty well, what we would be a minimum requirement. And then once we decide on what modifier, how to define it, all that stuff, then I have to submit it to the state and wait for their approval.
Okay.
And I do have to submit that this month.
Okay. So do we have to approve it first?
Yes, you have to approve it first.
So your suggestion is that we just have the one modifier for inundated acres?
Well, we already have inundated acres, that is just a state kind of a thing, but
Okay.
we have to have a modifier.
Okay,
So I'm suggesting old water.
sure. Okay, and then I would think the process would be that someone would probably come to you, and then you coordinate with Josh to discover if it's meets the criteria and how many acres it is. And then
They
from-
would have to fill out an application.
Sure.
And we would
Then,
go from there.
Right, and then
you approve it then, or does it have to come to the board?
That's another thing we have to decide, if you want me to approve it, or if you want the board to approve it.
Well, I mean, I would say just for the sake of trying to be consistent, we approve a lot of these other abatements, and I would say it'd be proper for them to come up with the process, come to us, be like, you know, landowner A has 14 acres, and, you know, Josh and I verified it meets the criteria, this is the acreage, this would be the reduction.
No, okay.
Do you agree or not? And then I think that would be the process. And
Proper way to do it.
go through like we are right now, they state their case as to why they think it should be approved or denied, and then we approve or deny it. That makes the most sense.
That sounds good. Yeah.
So I guess I would make a motion to add,
Do you
Go
want
ahead,
to determine to how much of a reduction? I just threw in a number, 70% reduction. You could,
I mean, it'd have
we
to
have to
be,
decide.
basically be next to useless if it's underwater, so yeah, I would say a pretty significant reduction.
Yeah, that,
And like Josh said, it's probably already at a reduced rate because of the soil, so it's not like you know, it's,
Yeah.
they're probably paying a reduced amount on that parcel anyways, it's not like they're gonna be just absolutely getting it for free, but it
Right.
should be reduced to mostly nothing, cause it's basically unusable.
yeah, you can't do nothing with it.
Right, I mean, production wise, I mean, it can be, have other uses obviously, but for production, it's basically
Duck
useless.
hunting apparently.
Well,
You have 70%.
can't tax on duck hunting.
I'm suggesting 70% reduction. with
So what do you
minimum.
do though, guys? Let me ask you this, so you've got a parcel,
Mhm.
and it's like 2/4 of it's divided, native ground and cropland. But the lake is within both cropland and native ground. How do you determine that then? Because it sounded like anything in native ground does not qualify.
Well, it would be up to you guys to decide how you want it to do it. What I'm suggesting is that it has to be, minimum of 10 acres and underwater for 10 years.
Yep.
But anything that would be on pasture land or grazeland would not be, viable for the deduction. So,
Flowing water on grazing land isn't a bad thing, you're
No.
gonna need
No,
water for your
of course,
cattle
right.
anyway,
Well,
so.
what dictates
talking
whether it's
production.
pasture or grazeland, the use or the soils? Like, how do you dictate what's
Yeah,
what?
that's a good question.
the farmer would have to dictate what they use the land for.
Oh,
Right, I mean, because we do know that there are soils out there that probably could be farmed that are used for grassland, so if they go.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's where you'd have to categorize, like, you'd almost have to have, like, the applicant declare the use, and then
Yes.
from there you,
Right.
that's
Right.
what, that's the
We can have-
process?
We can have them bring in their FSA maps too, I think we started.
Yeah, there you go.
Dated,
That'll
because
show
they
it.
measure what they're farming and how much water acres there are, yeah.
Yep,
Well, I mean, cause that's a good, like, what Mr. Chairman's point is, you know, otherwise you could, I mean, there's gonna be confusion there, people are just gonna assume if their land's underwater, it's gonna qualify for this reduction, so there probably has to be clarified in the beginning when someone's trying to apply for this reduction, so.
So you can't put a fence up around a wheat field and call it pasture land, that's crop land. Right.
Yeah, so you're gonna use the criteria mostly off of the FSA or something then?
We can.
I mean, just because otherwise, like you said, you just,
yeah, that'll
Yeah,
show
they
it.
have to prove what they're doing the land with, I would say.
okay.
They would have the history too.
Right.
Well, just cause, yeah, you don't wanna have that gray area of who's saying it is what and where, so at least if you nail it down that way, then.
And then it would be up to them to come in and let us know if it has changed.
Right.
Otherwise, we'll just keep it going year after year.
You wouldn't have a deadline or like a sunset maybe, for that to reapply?
That's up to you if you want to.
Well, I mean, you know, cause there's just a scenario where something does dry out after a while, I mean, I'm not gonna totally cry about it if someone gets away for a while, but you know what I mean, water holes do dry up depending on the situation, at least if you had some kind of like a sunset and they'd have to reapply, I don't think it's the end of the world to make them reapply every 5 years or
Every
something.
10 years?
I don't know,
Or
I
10
don't,
years like where the
is
water
there,
has
is
to
that
sit
a
for
clean
10
process
years?
or not, or does that add more headaches, I don't know, but it just feels like, cause otherwise, you could have that piece like that forever, if nobody goes out and verifies it, then someone is.
Right, and he's farming it now.
Which, I mean, again, I'm not gonna, you know, be upset for that, you know, whatever it is, what it is, but if you have other people that are not getting it, and then this person's farming
Yeah.
dry land, and they're getting, you know, I mean, you gotta have a consistency.
And maybe
factor.
5 isn't bad, cause about every 5 to 7 years that we're either in a drought or we're so
I
wet.
think every year is probably redundant, but I think a few years is reasonable, 3 to 5 years, whatever year you wanna pick, they should probably have to just reapply for the same thing, I mean, if it's worth doing, they'll do it.
Yeah.
So do we have to send notices out then or no?
Well, that's another
That's
part of the
another
sunset,
expense.
that you gotta warn them, and so.
So you just wanna go with 10-year timeframe, cause that's kind of what I'm proposing is, it has to be 10 years worth of still water, old water there, so then review every 10 years.
I mean, that's the only other thing is a part of the policy that we're basically crafting now, is there gonna be notice sent out on like year 9? Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like, of course, the other thing is they would notice it on their taxes, could you abate it back?
I'm sure you could make it.
I mean, that would be the only other, you know, just,
Yeah.
cause all of a sudden someone is gonna notice if that gets pulled off and all of a sudden their taxes go up to, and they're like, what the heck, that's still underwater. They come in and want it cleared up,
Yep, yep.
would you abate it, or, you know, those are some of the questions you would have with it too, I guess, but.
Does the burden fall on us though to remind them, or do we put it on there that this expires in 10 years, it's your responsibility on that application?
Well, I think that's fair, but then there always is the, I mean,
They
there
could still
is
abate.
the upsetness from people that are like, well, no one told me it was going
And
away.
it still could be abated if it's forgotten or anything, but
Well, that's what I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna at least be willing to abate it, then it's not the end of the world, we don't send a notice, and
Yeah.
someone would come in and re-verify, it's like, well, I guess you abate them.
Yeah.
Right now, the way that the state is recommending is to have them come in and tell you,
Okay.
They come in and tell
you
you.
know.
Well, it makes sense for the responsibility to be on the parcel owner, I agree with that completely, I just, as a part of this whole process, are we gonna agree that we're maybe gonna send a notice, or if, again, if it's abatable, at least for a certain amount of time, then it's just kinda up to them, and then if they do come in and verify it again, you could abate it back, it's not the end of the world then, I guess.
With this homestead tax credit, you don't send out notices, or do you?
I do, but I'm not required to.
Okay, well, it would be the
It
same.
would probably be minimal compared to this, though possibly not, or would this?
I'm hoping this is minimal.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts should we send notices, should we?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we need to be really strict with this, because otherwise we're gonna get a lot of applications.
Okay, everybody's looking to avoid tax.
Well, they are, and I really feel that the work that went through to do the soil indexing is really more accurate than any other way we can do it.
Yeah, you can.
So basically, the crux of it is we would add inundated acres as our modifier. Or
Well,
what are you calling it, or
old water,
old water?
yeah, because inundated acres is already a
Okay,
state
so
kind of
old
thing.
water is what you would be calling it,
I would call it
that
old
would be
water.
our only modifier.
Mhm.
And then you would apply through the tax assessor's office, and then the tax assessor's office and the GIS coordinator would come up with the criteria and then present it to the county commissioners for approval.
We would come up with whether or not they meet the criteria.
And hasn't there ever been anything in this county as to where if it was inundated with water, that it was had a reduced rate on taxation?
Yes, we
Right,
do
there
have
was.
some, we do have some inundated acres.
That was a bigger issue and there were less soils and stuff too, though, that's what
With
hurt.
the soils.
I mean, it's always kind of been there, but now even with the soils, that's narrow focus on all these different parcels where you don't need so much of a modifier, so.
Yeah.
Some of it theoretically has been taken care of, but there's always your outliers, and that's what the point is with like this old water option.
Okay.
So, right, so you would decide if they meet the criteria or not, and then if they meet the criteria, it comes to the board for
Yes,
approval.
sir,
It's changed.
So you would deny it if it does not meet the criteria.
correct. And then they could, I suppose they could appeal to the board.
Well, I guess my point to that is almost, you would just bring it and just be like, it does not meet the criteria, and we would, because they're probably gonna appeal it anyway. You get what I mean? Unless you wanna take that to be like, oh, we're gonna deny it, and you get what I'm saying? Like, you should almost just bring it to the board no matter what, and just be like, it doesn't meet a criteria or it does.
Sure.
And then we would decide to make that
Yeah.
ruling anyway. That way you don't have
Appeal
the
it,
scenario where you have a department that's getting blamed for trying to
Sure.
make policy.
That makes great sense.
You assess it against the criteria and bring us the information, just like Josh does on building permits, he even brings us the bad ones and tells us, and then we decide what
Yeah,
to do.
I
Yes
think
or no?
that's.
And then
yeah,
with that-
same.
With that approval, they would have a 10-year reduction, exemption, whatever you'd wanna name it, call it. And then after that, it ends and they would have to reapply.
Reapply.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because it's
I mean,
changed a
that's
lot.
pretty much what we discussed.
On these water things, in the last 15 years, they don't dry up.
Yeah.
They used to be dry. And you could farm them, but not anymore.
You know, a lot
It's,
of,
I don't know, it's insane. From what it is to what it used to be.
so you need a motion for that,
You need a motion to do this, correct? Yeah.
correctly.
You would basically be making a motion to approve that policy that we just basically.
That we just talked about.
So-
Basically laid out, so.
Christina brought to the board of,
Would like to make that motion of clarity, Mr.
I
Mayor.
kinda did, can we just rewind the meeting?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so that, I would make the motion that we create old water as a modifier to the tax assessor's office for parcel valuations. That process starts with applying at the tax assessor's office and the GIS department